by William Shakespeare and John Fletcher. The Two Noble Kinsmen. New plays and maidenheads are near akin, much followed both, for both much money gin. If they stand sound and well, and a good play whose modest scenes blush on his marriage day, and shake to lose his honour, is like her, that after holy tie and first night stir, yet still is modesty, and still retains more of the maid to sight than husband's pains. We pray our play may be so, for I'm sure it has a noble breeder and a pure, a learned and a poet never went more famous yet twixt Poe and Silver Trent. Chaucer of all admired the story gives, there constant to eternity it lives. If we let fall the nobleness of this, and the first sound this child hear be a hiss, how will it shake the bones of that good man, and make him cry from underground, "O fan from me the witless chaff of such a writer that blasts my bays, and my famed works makes lighter than Robin Hood." This is the fear we bring. For to say truth, it were an endless thing, and too ambitious to aspire to him. Weak as we are, and almost breathless, swim in this deep water. Do but you hold out your helping hands, and we shall tack about, and something do to save us. You shall hear scenes, though below his art, may yet appear worth 2 hours' travail. To his bones sweet sleep, content to you. If this play do not keep a little dull time from us, we perceive our losses fall so thick, we needs must leave. Act 1. Scene 1. Athens, before a temple. Enter Hymen with a torch burning, a boy in a white robe, before, singing and strewing flowers. After Hymen a nymph, encompassed in her tresses, bearing a wheaten garland. Then Theseus, between 2 other nymphs with wheaten chaplets on their heads. Then Hippolyta the bride, led by Pirithous, and another holding a garland over her head, her tresses likewise hanging. After her Emilia, holding up her train, Artesius and attendants. Music. The song. Roses, their sharp spines being gone, not royal in their smells alone, but in their hue, made in pinks of odour faint, daisies smell-less, yet most quaint, and sweet thyme true. Primrose, first-born child of Ver, merry springtime's harbinger, with her bells dim. Oxlips in their cradles growing, marigolds on their deathbeds blowing, lark-heels trim. All dear nature's children sweet lie for bride and bridegroom's feet, blessing their scents. Not an angel of the air, bird melodious or bird fair, be absent hence. The crow, the slanderous cuckoo, nor the boding raven, nor chough hoar, nor chattering pie, may on our bride-house perch or sing, or with them any discord bring, but from it fly. Enter 3 queens in black with veils, stained, and with imperial crowns. The first queen falls down at the foot of Theseus, the second falls down at the foot of Hippolyta, the third before Emilia.
For pity's sake and true gentilities, hear and respect me.
For your mother's sake, and as you wish yourself may thrive with fair ones, hear and respect me.
Now for the love of him whom Jove hath marked, the honour of your bed, and for the sake of clear virginity, be advocates for us our distresses. This good deed shall raise you out of the book of trespasses. All you are set down there.
Sad lady, rise.
Stand up. No knees to me. What woman I may see that is distressed does bind me to her.
What's your request? Deliver you for all.
We are 3 queens, whose sovereigns fell before the wrath of cruel Creon, who endure the beaks of ravens, talons of the kites, and pecks of crows in the foul fields of Thebes. He will not suffer us to burn their bones, to earn their ashes, nor to take the offence of mortal loathsomeness from the blessed eye of holy Phoebus, but infects the winds with stench of our slain lords. O pity, Duke! Thou purger of the earth, draw thy feared sword that does good turns to the world, Give us the bones of our dead kings, that we may chapel them. And of thy boundless goodness, take some note that for our crowned heads we have no roof save this, which is the lions and the bears, and vault to everything.
Pray you, kneel not. I was transported with your speech, and suffered your knees to wrong themselves. I have heard the fortunes of your dead lords, which gives me such lamenting as wakes my vengeance and revenge for 'em. King Capaneus was your lord. The day that he should marry you, at such a season as now it is with me, I met your groom by Mars's altar. You were at that time fair, not Juno's mantle fairer than your tresses, nor in more bounty spread her. Your wheaten wreath was then nor threshed nor blasted. Fortune at you dimpled her cheek with smiles. Hercules, our kinsman, then weaker than your eyes, laid by his club. He tumbled down upon his Nemean hide, and swore his sinews thawed. Oh, grief and time, fearful consumers, you will all devour.
Oh, I hope some God hath put his mercy in your manhood, whereto he'll infuse power and press you forth our undertaker.
Oh, no knees, none, widow. Unto the helmeted Bellona use them, and pray for me, your soldier. Troubled I am.
Turns away.
Honoured Hippolyta, most dreaded Amazonian that has slain the scythe-tusked boar, that with thy arm as strong as it is white, wast near to make the male to thy sex captive, but that this thy lord, born to uphold creation in that honour first nature styled it in, shrunk thee into the bound thou wast overflowing, at once subduing thy force and thy affection. Soldieress, that equally canst poise sternness with pity, who now, I know, hast much more power on him than e'er he had on thee, who owest his strength and his love too, who is a servant for the tenor of thy speech. Dear glass of ladies, bid him that we, whom flaming war doth scorch, under the shadow of his sword may cool us. Require him he advance it o'er our heads. Speak it in a woman's key, like such a woman as any of us three. Weep ere you fail, lend us a knee, but touch the ground for us no longer time than a dove's motion when the head is plucked off. Tell him, if he in the blood-sized field lay swollen, showing the sun his teeth, grinning at the moon, what you would do.
Poor lady, say no more. I had as lief trace this good action with you as that whereto I'm going, and ne'er yet went I so willing way. My lord is taken heart-deep with your distress. Let him consider. I'll speak anon.
Kneels to Emilia.
Oh, my petition was set down in ice, which, by hot grief and candides, melts into drops, so sorrow, wanting form, is pressed with deeper matter.
Pray stand up. Your grief is written in your cheek.
Oh, woe! You cannot read it there through my tears like wrinkled pebbles. In a glassy stream you may behold them. Lady, lady, alack! He that will all the treasure know of the earth must come to the centre too. He that will fish for the least minnow, let him lead his line to catch one at my heart. Oh, pardon me, extremities that sharpen sundry wits make me a fool.
Pray you, say nothing, pray you. Who cannot feel nor see the rain, being in't, knows neither wet nor dry. If that you were the ground piece of some painter, I would buy you, to instruct me gainst a capital grief indeed, such heart-pierced demonstration. But alas, being a natural sister of our sex, your sorrow beats so ardently upon me, that it shall make a counter-reflect gainst my brother's heart, and warm it to some pity, though it were made of stone. Pray have good comfort.
Forward to the temple. Leave not out a jot of the sacred ceremony.
Oh, this celebration will longer last and be more costly than your suppliant's war. Remember that your fame knolls in the ear of the world. What you do quickly is not done rashly. Your first thought is more than others' laboured meditance. You are premeditating more than their actions. But, O Jove, your actions, soon as they move, as ospreys do the fish, subdue before they touch. Think, dear Duke, think what beds our slain kings have.
What griefs our beds, that our dear lords have none.
None fit for the deeds. Those that, with cords, knives, drams, precipitants, weary of this world's light, have to themselves been death's most horrid agents. Human grace affords them dust and shadow.
But our lords lie blistering for the visitating sun, and were good kings when living.
It is true, and I will give you comfort to give your dead lords graves, the which to do must make some work with Creon.
And that work now presents itself to the doing. Now it will take form. The heats are gone tomorrow. Then bootless toil must recompense itself with its own sweat. Now he's secure. Not dreams we stand before your puissance, rinsing our holy begging in our eyes to make petition clear.
Now you may take him drunk with his victory.
And his army full of bread and sloth.
Artesius, that best knowest how to draw out, fit to this enterprise, the primest for this proceeding, and the number to carry such a business, forth and levy our worthiest instruments, whilst we dispatch this grand act of our life, this daring deed of fate in wedlock.
Dowagers, take hands. Let us be widows to our woes. Delay commends us to a famishing hope. Farewell.
We come unseasonably, but when could grief cull forth as unpanged judgment can, fittest time for best solicitation?
Why, good ladies, this is a service whereto I am going greater than any war. It more imports me than all the actions that I have foregone or futurely can cope.
The more proclaiming our suit shall be neglected, when her arms, able to lock Jove from a synod, shall by warranting moonlight corslet thee. O when her twinning cherries shall their sweetness fall upon thy tasteful lips, what wilt thou think of rotten kings or blubbered queens? What care for what thou feelest not, what thou feelest being able to make Mars spurn his drum? O if thou couch but one night with her, every hour in it will take hostage of thee for 100, and thou shalt remember nothing more than what that banquet bids thee to.
Hippolyta, kneeling to Theseus.
Though much unlike, you should be so transported, as much sorry I should be such a suitor. Yet I think, did I not by the abstaining of my joy, which breeds a deeper longing, cure their surfeit that craves a present medicine, I should pluck all ladies' scandal on me. Therefore, sir, as I shall here make trial of my prayers, either presuming them to have some force, or sentencing for I their vigour dumb, prorogue this business we are going about, and hang your shield afore your heart, about that neck which is my fee, and which I freely lend to do these poor queens service.
Oh, help now.
To Emilia.
Our cause cries for your knee.
Emilia, kneeling to Theseus.
If you grant not my sister her petition, in that force, with that celerity and nature, which she makes it in, from henceforth I'll not dare to ask you anything, nor be so hardy ever to take a husband.
Pray stand up.
Hippolyta and Emilia rise.
I am entreating of myself to do that which you kneel to have me. Pirithous, lead on the bride. Get you and pray the gods for success and return. Omit not anything in the pretended celebration. Queens, follow your soldier. As before, hence you.
To Artesius.
And at the banks of Aulis meet us with the forces you can raise, where we shall find the moiety of a number for a business more bigger looked.
To Hippolyta.
Since that our theme is haste, I stamp this kiss upon thy current lip. Sweet, keep it as my token.
To Artesius.
Set you forward, for I will see you gone.
Exit Artesius.
Farewell, my beauteous sister. Pirithous, keep the feast full, bate not an hour on it.
Sir, I'll follow you at heels. The feast solemnity shall want till your return.
Cousin, I charge you, budge not from Athens. We shall be returning ere you can end this feast, of which I pray you make no abatement. Once more, farewell all.
Hippolyta, Emilia, Pirithous, Hymen, boy, nymphs, and attendants enter the temple.
Thus dost thou still make good the tongue of the world,
and earnest a deity equal with Mars.
If not above him, for thou, being but mortal, makest affections bend to godlike honours, they themselves say, grown under such a mastery.
As we are men, thus should we do. Being sensually subdued, we lose our human title. Good cheer, ladies. Now turn we towards your comforts.
Flourish. Exeunt. Scene 2. Thebes, the court of the palace. Enter Palamon and Arcite.
Dear Palamon, dearer in love than blood, and our prime cousin, Yet, unhardened in the crimes of nature, let us leave the city Thebes and the temptings in't, before we further sully our gloss of youth. And here to keep in abstinence we shame as in incontinence. For not to swim in the aid of the current were almost to sink, at least to frustrate striving, and to follow the common stream would bring us to an eddy where we should turn or drown, if labour through our gain but life and weakness.
Your advice is cried up with example. What strange ruins since first we went to school may we perceive walking in Thebes? Scars and bare weeds the gain of the martialist, who did propound to his bold ends honour and golden ingots, which, though he won, he had not, and now flirted by peace for whom he fought. Who then shall offer to Mars's so scorned altar? I do bleed when such I meet, and wish great Juno would resume her ancient fit of jealousy to get the soldier work, that peace might purge for her repletion, and retain anew her charitable heart, now hard and harsher than strife or war could be.
Are you not out? Meet you no ruin but the soldier in the cranks and turns of Thebes? You did begin as if you met decays of many kinds. Perceive you none that do arouse your pity but the unconsidered soldier?
Yes, I pity decays where'er I find them, but such most that sweating in an honourable toil are paid with ice to cool 'em.
'Tis not this I did begin to speak of. This is virtue of no respect in Thebes. I spake of Thebes. How dangerous, if we will keep our honours, it is for our residing, where every evil hath a good colour, where every seeming good's a certain evil, where not to be even jump as they are here were to be strangers, and such things to be mere monsters.
It is in our power, unless we fear that apes can tutor us, to be masters of our manners. What need I affect another's gait which is not catching where there is faith, or to be fond upon another's way of speech, when by mine own I may be reasonably conceived, saved too, speaking it truly? Why am I bound by any generous bond to follow him follows his tailor, haply so long until the followed make pursuit? Or let me know why mine own barber is unblessed, with him my poor chin too, for 'tis not scissored just to such a favourite's glass. What canon is there that does command my rapier from my hip to dangle it in my hand, or to go tiptoe before the street be foul? Either I am the forehorse in the team, or I am none that draw in the sequent trace. These poor slight sores need not a plantain. That which rips my bosom almost to the heart,
Our Uncle Creon.
he, a most unbounded tyrant, whose successes makes heaven unfeared and villainy assured beyond its power there's nothing, almost puts faith in a fever, and deifies alone voluble chance, who only attributes the faculties of other instruments to his own nerves and act, commands men's service, and what they win in't, boot and glory. One that fears not to do harm, good dares not. Let the blood of mine that sib to him be sucked from me with leeches. Let them break and fall off me with that corruption.
Clear-spirited cousin, let's leave his court, that we may nothing share of his loud infamy. For our milk will relish of the pasture, and we must be vile or disobedient, not his kinsman in blood, unless in quality.
Nothing truer. I think the echoes of his shames have deafened the ears of heavenly justice. Widows' cries descend again into their throats, and have not due audience of the gods. Valerius.
Enter Valerius.
The king calls for you. Yet be leaden-footed till his great rage be off him. Phoebus, when he broke his whipstock and exclaimed against the horses of the sun, but whispered to the loudness of his fury.
Small winds shake him. But what's the matter?
Theseus, who where he threats appalls, hath sent deadly defiance to him, and pronounces ruin to Thebes, who is at hand to seal the promise of his wrath.
Let him approach. But that we fear the gods in him, he brings not a jot of terror to us. Yet what man thirds his own worth? The case in each of ours, when that his actions dragged with mind assured 'tis bad he goes about.
Leave that unreasoned. Our services stand now for Thebes, not Creon. Yet to be neutral to him were dishonour, rebellious to oppose. Therefore we must with him stand to the mercy of our fate who hath bounded our last minute.
So we must. Is't set some wars afoot? Or it shall be, on fail of some condition.
'Tis in motion. The intelligence of state came in the instant with the defier.
Let's to the king, who, were he a quarter carrier of that honour which his enemy comes in, the blood we venture should be as for our health, which were not spent, rather laid out for purchase. But alas, our hands advance before our hearts. What will the fall of the stroke do damage?
Let the event, that never-erring arbitrator, tell us when we know all ourselves, and let us follow the becking of our chance.
Exeunt. Scene 3. Before the gates of Athens. Enter Pirithous, Hippolyta, and Emilia.
No further.
Sir, farewell. Repeat my wishes to our great lord, of whose success I dare not make any timorous question. Yet I wish him excess and overflow of power, and might be, to dare ill-dealing fortune. Speed to him. Store never hurts good governors.
Though I know his ocean needs not my poor drops, yet they must yield their tribute there. My precious maid, those best affections that the heavens infuse in their best-tempered pieces, keep enthroned in your dear heart.
Thanks, sir. Remember me to our all-royal brother, for whose speed the great Bellona I'll solicit. And since, in our terrene state, petitions are not without gifts understood, I'll offer to her what I shall be advised she likes. Our hearts are in his army, in his tent.
In his bosom. We have been soldiers, and we cannot weep when our friends don their helms or put to sea, or tell of babes broached on the lance, or women that have sawed their infants in, and after eat them, the brine they weep at killing them. Then if you stay to see us such spinsters, we should hold you here forever.
Peace be to you as I pursue this war, which shall be then beyond further requiring.
Exit.
How his longing follows his friend! Since his depart his sports, though craving seriousness and skill, pass slightly his careless execution, where nor gain made him regard, or loss consider, but playing one business in his hand, another directing in his head, his mind nurse equal to these so differing twins. Have you observed him since our great lord departed?
With much labour, and I did love him for it. They too have cabined in many as dangerous as poor a corner, peril and want contending. They have skiffed torrents whose roaring tyranny and power in the least of these was dreadful, and they have fought out together, yet fate hath brought them off. Their knot of love, tied, weaved, entangled with so true, so long, and with a finger of so deep a cunning may be outworn, never undone. I think Theseus cannot be umpire to himself, cleaving his conscience into twain, and doing each side like justice, which he loves best.
Doubtless there is a best, and reason has no manners to say it is not you. I was acquainted once with a time when I enjoyed a playfellow. You were at wars when she the grave enriched, who made too proud the bed, took leave o' the moon, which then looked pale at parting, when our count was each 11.
'Twas Flavina.
Yes, you talk of Pirithous and Theseus's love. Theirs has more ground, is more maturely seasoned, more buckled with strong judgment, and their needs the one of the other may be said to water their entangled roots of love. But I and she I sigh and spoke of were things innocent. Loved for we did, and like the elements, that know not what, nor why, yet do affect rare issues by their operance. Our souls did so to one another. What she liked was then of me approved, what not, condemned, no more arraignment. The flower that I would pluck and put between my breasts, then but beginning to swell about the blossom, she will long till she had such another, and commit it to the like innocent cradle, where phoenix-like they died in perfume. On my head no toy but was her pattern, her affections, pretty, though happily her careless wear, I followed for my most serious decking. Had mine ear stolen some new air, or at adventure hummed one from musical coinage, why it was a note whereon her spirits would sojourn, rather dwell on, and sing it in her slumbers. This rehearsal, which every innocent wots well, comes in like olden Portman's bastard, has this end, that the true love 'tween maid and maid may be more than in sex dividual.
You're out of breath, and this high-speed pace is but to say that you shall never, like the maid Flavina, love any that's called man.
I am sure I shall not.
Now alack, weak sister, I must no more believe thee in this point, though in it I know thou dost believe thyself, than I will trust a sickly appetite that loathes even as it longs. Be sure, my sister, if I were ripe for your persuasion, you have said enough to shake me from the arm of the all-noble Theseus, for whose fortunes I will now in and kneel, with great assurance that we, more than his Pirithous, possess the high throne in his heart.
I am not against your faith, yet I continue mine.
Exeunt. Scene 4. A field before Thebes. Cornets. A battle struck within, then a retreat, then a flourish. Then enter Theseus, victor. The three queens meet him, and fall on their faces before him.
To thee no star be dark.
Both heaven and earth friend thee for ever.
All the good that may be wished upon thy head, I cry amen to't.
The impartial gods who from the mounted heavens view us, their mortal herd, behold who err, and in their time chastise. Go and find out the bones of your dead lords, and honour them with treble ceremony. Rather than a gap should be in their dear rights, we would supply it. But those we will depute which shall invest you in your dignities, and even each thing our haste does leave imperfect. So adieu, and heaven's good eyes look on you.
Exeunt Queens.
What are those?
Men of great quality, as may be judged by their appointment. Some of Thebes have told us they are sisters' children, nephews to the king.
By the helm of Mars, I saw them in the war, like to a pair of lions smeared with prey, make lanes in troops aghast. I fixed my note constantly on them, for they were a mark worth a god's view. What was it that prisoner told me when I inquired their names?
We learn they're called Arcite and Palamon.
'Tis right, those. They are not dead.
Nor in a state of life. Had they been taken when their last hurts were given, 'twas possible they might have been recovered, yet they breathe and have the name of men.
Then like men use 'em. The very lees of such millions of rates exceed the wine of others. All our surgeons convent in their behoof, our richest bombs rather than niggard waste. Their lives concern us much more than Thebes is worth. Rather than have 'em freed of this plight and in their mourning state, sound and at liberty, I would 'em dead. But 40,000-fold we had rather have 'em prisoners to us than death. Bear 'em speedily from our kind air, to them unkind, and minister what man to man may do, for our sake more. Since I have known fight's fury, friends' behests, love's provocations, zeal, a mistress' task, desire of liberty, a fever, madness, hath set a mark, which nature could not reach to without some imposition, sickness in will, or wrestling strength in reason. For our love and great Apollo's mercy, all our best their best skill tender. Lead into the city, where, having bound things scattered, we will post to Athens for our army.
Flourish. Exeunt. Scene 5. Another part of the field. Enter the queens with the hearses of their husbands, in a funeral solemnity, etc. Song.
Urns and odours bring away, vapours, sighs darken the day.
Our dole more deadly looks than dying, balms and gums and heavy cheers, sacred vials filled with tears, and clamours through the wild air flying.
Come, all sad and solemn shows, that our quick-eyed pleasures foes. We convent naught else but woes.
We convent naught else but woes.
This funeral path brings to your household's grave joy seize on you again. Peace sleep with him.
And this to yours.
Yours this way. Heavens lend 1,000 differing ways to one sure end.
This world's a city full of straying streets, and death's the marketplace where each one meets.
Exeunt severally. Act 2. Scene 1. Athens. A garden with a castle in the background. Enter Gaoler and wooer.
I may depart but little while I live, Something I may cost to you, not much. Alas, the prison I keep, though it be for great ones, yet they seldom come. But for one salmon you shall take a number of minnows. I am given out to be better lined than it can appear to me report is a true speaker. I would I were really that I am delivered to be. Marry, what I have, be it what it will, I will assure upon my daughter at the day of my death.
Sir, I demand no more than your own offer, and I will estate your daughter in what I have promised.
Well, we will talk more of this when the solemnity is past. But have you a full promise of her? When that shall be seen, I tender my consent.
I have, sir. Here she comes.
Enter Gaoler's daughter, with rushes.
Your friend and I have chanced to name you here, upon the old business. But no more of that now. So soon as the court hurry is over, we shall have an end of it. In the meantime, look tenderly to the two prisoners. I can tell you, they are princes.
These strewings are for their chamber. 'Tis a pity they are in prison, and 'twere pity they should be out. I do think they have patience to make any adversity ashamed. The prison itself is proud of 'em, and they have all the world in their chamber.
They seem to be a pair of absolute men.
By my troth, I think fame but stammers 'em. They stand a grise above the reach of report.
I heard them reported in a battle to be the only doers.
Nay, most likely, for they are noble sufferers. I marvel how they would have looked, had they been victors, that with such a constant nobility enforce a freedom out of bondage, making misery their mirth, and affliction a toy to jest at.
Do they so?
It seems to me they have no more sense of their captivity than I of ruling Athens. They eat well, look merrily, discourse of many things, but nothing of their own restraint and disasters. Yet sometime a divided sigh, martyred as 'twere the deliverance, will break from one of them, when the other presently gives it so sweet a rebuke that I could wish myself a sigh to be so chid, or at least a sire to be comforted.
I never saw him.
The Duke himself came privately in the night, and so did they. What the reason of it is, I know not.
Palamon and Arcite appear at a window above.
Look, yonder they are. That's Arcite looks out.
No, sir, no, that's Palamon. Arcite is the lower of the twain. You may perceive a part of him.
Go to, leave your pointing. They would not make us their object. Out of their sight.
It is a holiday to look on them. Lord, the difference of men. Exeunt. Scene 2. A room in the prison. Enter Palamon and Arcite.
How do you, noble cousin?
How do you, sir?
Why, strong enough to laugh at misery and bear the chance of war yet. We are prisoners, I fear, forever, cousin.
I believe it, and to that destiny have patiently laid up my hour to come.
O cousin Arcite, where is Thebes now? Where is our noble country? Where are our friends and kindreds? Never more must we behold those comforts, never see the hardy youths strive for the games of honour, hung with the painted favours of their ladies like tall ships under sail, then start amongst 'em, and, as an east wind, leave 'em all behind us like lazy clouds, whilst Palamon and Arcite, even in the wagging of a wanton leg, outstripped the people's praises, won the garlands ere they have time to wish 'em ours. Oh, never shall we two exercise like twins of honour our arms again, and feel our fiery horses like proud seas under us. Our good swords now, better the red-eyed god of war ne'er wore, ravished our sides like age, must run to rust, and deck the temples of those gods that hate us. These hands shall never draw 'em out like lightning, to blast whole armies more.
No, Palamon, those hopes are prisoners with us. Here we are, and here the graces of our youth must wither like a too timely spring. Here the age must find us, And, which is heaviest, Palamon, unmarried. The sweet embraces of a loving wife, loaden with kisses, armed with 1,000 cupids, shall never clasp our necks. No issue know us, no figures of ourselves shall we e'er see to glad our age, and like young eagles teach him boldly to gaze against bright arms, and say, remember what your fathers were, and conquer. The fair-eyed maids shall weep our banishments, and in their songs curse ever-blinded fortune, till she for shame see what a wrong she has done to youth and nature. This is all our world. We shall know nothing here but one another, hear nothing but the clock that tells our woes. The vine shall grow, but we shall never see it. Summer shall come, and with her all delights, but dead cold winter must inhabit here still.
'Tis too true, Arcite. To our Theban hounds that shook the aged forest with their echoes, no more now must we halloo. No more shake our pointed javelins, whilst the angry swine flies like a Parthian quiver from our rages, stuck with our well-steeled darts. All valiant uses, the food and nourishment of noble minds, in us two here shall perish. We shall die, which is the curse of honour, lazily, children of grief and ignorance.
Yet, cousin, even from the bottom of these miseries, from all that fortune can inflict upon us, I see two comforts rising, two mere blessings, if the gods please to hold here. A brave patience, and the enjoying of our griefs together. Whilst Palamon is with me, let me perish if I think this our prison.
Certainly 'tis a main goodness, cousin, that our fortunes were twined together. 'Tis most true, two souls put in two noble bodies, let 'em suffer the gall of hazard, so they grow together will never sink. They must not, say they could. A willing man dies sleeping, and all's done.
Shall we make worthy uses of this place that all men hate so much?
How, gentle cousin?
Let's think this prison holy sanctuary, to keep us from corruption of worse men. We are young, and yet desire the ways of honour, that liberty and common conversation, the poison of pure spirits, might like women woo us to wander from. What worthy blessing can be but our imaginations may make it ours? And here, being thus together, we are an endless mind to one another. We are one another's wife, ever begetting new births of love. We are father, friends, acquaintance. We are in one another families. I am your heir, and you are mine. And this place is our inheritance. No hard oppressor dare take this from us. Here, with a little patience, we shall live long and loving. No surfeits seek us. The hand of war hurts none here, nor the sea swallow their youth. Were we at liberty, a wife might part us lawfully, or business. Quarrels consume us. Envy of ill men grave our acquaintance. I might sicken, cousin, where you should never know it, and so perish without your noble hand to close mine eyes, or prayers to the gods. 1,000 chances, were we from hence, would sever us.
You have made me, I thank you, cousin Arcite, almost wanton with my captivity. What a misery it is to live abroad and everywhere! 'Tis like a beast, methinks. I find the court here, I am sure, a more content, and all those pleasures that woo the wills of men to vanity I see through now, and am sufficient to tell the world 'tis but a gaudy shadow that old Time as he passes by takes with him. What had we been old in the court of Creon, where sin is justice, lust and ignorance the virtues of the great ones? Cousin Arcite, had not the loving gods found this place for us, we had died as they do, ill old men, unwept, and had their epitaphs the people's curses. Shall I say more?
I would hear you still.
You shall. Is there any record of any two that loved better than we do, Arcite?
Sure there cannot.
I do not think it possible our friendship should ever leave us.
Till our deaths it cannot, and after death our spirits shall be led to those that love eternally. Speak on, sir.
Enter Emilia and waiting woman below.
This garden has a world of pleasures in't. What flower is this?
'Tis called Narcissus, madam.
That was a fair boy certain, but a fool to love himself. Were there not maids enough?
Pray, forward!
Yes.
Or were they all hard-hearted?
They could not be to one so fair.
Thou wouldst not?
I think I should not, madam.
That's a good wench. But take heed to your kindness, though.
Why, madam?
Men are mad things.
Will ye go forward, cousin?
Canst thou not work such flowers in silk, wench?
Yes.
I'll have a gown full of 'em. And of these, this is a pretty colour. Wilt not do rarely upon a skirt, wench?
Dainty, madam.
Cousin! Cousin! How do you, sir? Why, Palamon!
Never till now I was in prison, Arcite.
Why, what's the matter, man?
Behold and wonder! By heaven, she is a goddess!
Ha!
Do reverence! She is a goddess, Arcite.
Of all flowers, methinks a rose is best.
Why, gentle madam?
It is the very emblem of a maid. For when the west wind courts her gently, how modestly she blows, and paints the sun with her chaste blushes. When the north comes near her, rude and impatient, then, like chastity, she locks her beauties in her bud again, and leaves him to base briars.
She's wondrous fair.
She is all the beauty extant.
The sun grows high. Let's walk in. Keep these flowers. We'll see how near art can come near their colours.
Exit with waiting woman.
What think you of this beauty?
'Tis a rare one.
Is it but a rare one?
Yes, a matchless beauty.
Might not a man well lose himself and love her?
I cannot tell what you have done. I have, beshrew mine eyes for it. Now I feel my shackles.
You love her, then?
Who would not?
And desire her?
Before my liberty.
I saw her first.
That's nothing.
But it shall be.
I saw her too.
Yes, but you must not love her.
I will not as you do to worship her, as she is heavenly and a blessed goddess. I love her as a woman, to enjoy her. So both may love.
You shall not love at all.
Not love at all? Well, who shall deny me?
I that first saw her. I that took possession first with mine eye of all those beauties in her revealed to mankind. If thou lovest her, or entertainst a hope to blast my wishes, thou art a traitor, Arcite, and a fellow false as thy title to her. Friendship, blood, and all the titles between us, I disclaim if thou once think upon her.
Yes, I love her. And if the lives of all my name lay on it, I must do so. I love her with my soul. If that will lose ye, farewell, Palamon. I say again, I love, and in loving her maintain I am as worthy and as free a lover, and have as just a title to her beauty as any Palamon, or any living that's a man's son.
Have I called thee friend?
Yes, and have found me so. Why are you moved thus? Let me deal coldly with you. Am not I part of your blood, part of your soul? You have told me that I was Palamon, and you were Arcite.
Yes.
Am not I liable to those affections, those joys, griefs, angers, fears, my friend shall suffer?
You may be.
Why then would you deal so cunningly, so strangely, so unlike a noble kinsman to love alone? Speak truly, do you think me unworthy of her sight?
No, but unjust if thou pursue that sight.
Because another first sees the enemy, shall I stand still and let mine honour down and never charge?
Yes, if he be but one.
But say that one had rather combat me.
Let that one say so, and use thy freedom. Else, if thou pursuest her, be as that cursed man that hates his country, a branded villain.
You're mad.
I must be, till thou art worthy, Arcite. It concerns me, and in this madness, if I hazard thee and take thy life, I deal but truly.
Fie, sir, you play the child extremely. I love her. I must, I ought to do so. And I dare. And all this justly.
Oh, that now thy false self and thy friend had but this fortune, to be 1 hour at liberty and grasp our good swords in our hands, I'd quickly teach thee what it were to filch affection from another. Thou art baser in it than a cut-purse. Put but thy head out of this window more, and as I have a soul, I'll nail thy life to it.
Thou darest not, fool. Thou canst not, thou art feeble. Put my head out, I'll throw my body out, and leap in the garden when I see her next, and pitch between her arms to anger thee.
No more, the keeper's coming. I shall live to knock thy brains out with my shackles.
Do!
Enter Gaoler.
By your leave, gentlemen.
Now, honest keeper.
Lord Arcite, you must presently to the Duke, the cause I know not yet.
I am ready, keeper.
Prince Palamon, I must awhile bereave you of your fair cousin's company.
Exit, with Arcite.
And me too, even when you please, of life. Why is he sent for? It may be he shall marry her. He's goodly, and like enough the Duke has taken notice both of his blood and body. But his falsehood! Why should a friend be treacherous? If that get him a wife so noble and so fair, let honest men ne'er love again. Once more I would but see this fair one. Blessed garden, and fruit and flowers more blessed that still blossom as her bright eyes shine on ye. Would I were for all the fortune of my life hereafter yon little tree, yon blooming apricot. How I would spread and fling my wanton arms in at her window! I would bring her fruit fit for the gods to feed on. Youth and pleasure still as she tasted should be doubled on her. And if she be not heavenly, I would make her so near the gods in nature they should fear her. And then, I am sure, she would love me.
Re-enter Gaoler.
How now, keeper? Where's Arcite?
Banished. Prince Pirithous obtained his liberty, but never more upon his oath and life must he set foot upon this kingdom.
He's a blessed man. He shall see Thebes again, and call to arms the bold young men that, when he bids them charge, fall on like fire. Arcite shall have a fortune. If he dare make himself a worthy lover yet in the field to strike a battle for her, and if he lose her then, he's a cold coward. How bravely may he bear himself to win her, if he be noble Arcite, 1,000 ways. Were I at liberty, I would do things of such a virtuous greatness that this lady, this blushing virgin, should take manhood to her, and seek to ravish me.
My lord, for you I have this charge too.
To discharge my life?
No, but from its place to remove your lordship. The windows are too open.
Devils take 'em that are so envious to me. Prithee, kill me.
And hang for it afterward.
By this good light, had I a sword, I'd kill thee.
Why, my lord?
Thou bring'st such pelting scurvy news continually, thou art not worthy life. I will not go.
Indeed, you must, my lord.
May I see the garden?
No.
Then I am resolved I will not go.
I must constrain you then, for you are dangerous. I'll clap our irons on you.
Do, good keeper. I'll shake 'em so ye shall not sleep. I'll make you a new Morris. Must I go?
There is no remedy.
Farewell, kind window. May rude wind never hurt thee. O my lady, if thou ever hast felt what sorrow was, dream how I suffer. Come, now bury me.
Exeunt. Scene 3. The country near Athens. Enter Arcite.
Banished the kingdom? 'Tis a benefit, a mercy I must thank him for. But banished the free enjoying of that face I die for? Oh, 'twas a studied punishment, a death beyond imagination, such a vengeance that, were I old and wicked, all my sins could never pluck upon me. Palamon, thou hast the start now. Thou shalt stay and see her bright eyes break each morning 'gainst thy window, and let in life into thee. Thou shalt feed upon the sweetness of a noble beauty that nature ne'er exceeded, nor ne'er shall. Good gods, what happiness has Palamon! 20 to 1 he'll come to speak to her, and if she be as gentle as she's fair, I know she's his. He has a tongue will tame tempests, and make the wild rocks wanton. Come what can come, the worst is death. I will not leave this kingdom. I know mine own is but a heap of ruins, and no redress there. If I go, he has her. I'm resolved. Another shape shall make me or end my fortunes. Either way I'm happy. I'll see her and be near her, or no more.
Enter 4 countrymen, one with a garland before them.
My masters, I will be there, that's certain.
And I'll be there.
And I.
Why then, have with ye, boys, 'tis better chiding. Let the plough play today. I'll tickle out of the jade's tails tomorrow.
I am sure to have my wife as jealous as a turkey, but that's all one. I'll go through, let her mumble.
Do we all hold against the Maying?
Hold, what should ill us?
Arcas will be there.
And Senoise and Ricus, and 3 better lads never danced under green tree. And you know what wenches? Ha! But will the dainty Domine, the schoolmaster, keep touch, do you think? For he does all, you know.
He'll eat a hornbook ere he fail. Go to! The matter's too far driven between him and the tanner's daughter to let slip now. And she must see the Duke, and she must dance too.
Shall we be lusty?
Here I'll be, and there I'll be for our town, and here again, and there again. Ha, boys, hey for the weavers!
This must be done in the woods.
Oh, pardon me.
By any means. Our thing o' learning says so, where he himself will edify the Duke, most parlously in our behalfs. He's excellent in the woods. Bring him to the plains, his learning makes no cry.
We'll see the sports, then every man to his tackle. And, sweet companions, let's rehearse by any means, before the ladies see us, and do sweetly, and God knows what may come on it.
Content. The sports once ended, we'll perform. Away, boys, and hold.
By your leaves, honest friends, pray you, whither go you?
Whither? Why, what a question's that?
Yes, 'tis a question. To me that know not.
To the games, my friend.
Where were you bred, you know it not?
Not far, sir. Are there such games today?
Yes, marry, are there? And such as you never saw. The Duke himself will be in person there.
What pastimes are they?
Wrestling and running. 'Tis a pretty fellow.
Thou wilt not go along?
Not yet, sir.
Well, sir, take your own time. Come, boys.
My mind misgives me. This fellow has a vengeance trick on the hip. Mark how his body's made for it.
I'll be hanged, though, if he dare venture. Hang him, plum porridge. He wrestle. He roast eggs. Come, let's be gone, lads.
Exeunt countryman.
This is an offered opportunity I durst not wish for. Well I could have wrestled. The best men called it excellent. And run swifter than wind upon a field of corn, curling the wealthy ears, or flew. I'll venture, and in some poor disguise be there. Who knows whether my brows may not be girt with garlands, and happiness prefer me to a place where I may ever dwell in sight of her.
Exit. Scene 4. Athens. A room in the prison. Enter Gaoler's daughter. Why should I love this gentleman? 'Tis odds he never will affect me. I am base, my father the mean keeper of his prison, and he a prince. To marry him is hopeless. To be his whore is witless. Oh, out upon't! What pushes are we wenches driven to when 15 once has found us? First I saw him. I, seeing, thought he was a goodly man. He has as much to please a woman in him, if he please to bestow it so, as ever these eyes yet looked on. Next I pitied him, and so would any young wench on my conscience that ever dreamed or vowed her maidenhead to a young handsome man. Then I loved him, extremely loved him, infinitely loved him. And yet he had a cousin fair as he too. But in my heart was Palamon. And there, Lord, what a coil he keeps! Oh, to hear him sing in an evening, what a heaven it is! And yet his songs are sad ones. Fairer spoken was never gentleman. When I come in to bring him water in a morning, first he bows his noble body, then salutes me thus: Fair gentle maid, good morrow. May thy goodness get thee a happy husband. Once he kissed me. Oh, I loved my lips the better 10 days after. Would he would do so every day. He grieves much, and me as much to see his misery. What should I do to make him know I love him? For I would fain enjoy him. Say I ventured to set him free. What says the law, then? Thus much for law, or kindred. I will do it, and this night or to-morrow he shall love me. Exit. Scene 5. An open place in Athens. A short flourish of cornets and shouts within. Enter Theseus, Hippolyta, Pirithous, Emilia, Arcite disguised wearing a garland, and countrymen.
You have done worthily. I have not seen since Hercules a man of tougher sinews. Whate'er you are, you run the best and wrestle that these times can allow.
I'm proud to please you.
What country bred you?
This? But far off, Prince.
Are you a gentleman?
Well, my father said so, and to those gentle uses gave me life.
Are you his heir?
His youngest, sir.
Your father sure is a happy sire then. What proves you?
A little of all noble qualities. I could have kept a hawk, and well have hallooed to a deep cry of dogs. I dare not praise my feat in horsemanship, yet they that knew me would say that it was my best piece. Last, and greatest, I would be thought a soldier.
You are perfect.
Upon my soul, a proper man.
He is so.
How do you like him, lady?
I admire him. I have not seen so young a man so noble, if he say true, of his sort.
Believe, his mother was a wondrous handsome woman. His face, methinks, goes that way.
But his body and fiery mind illustrate a brave father.
Mark how his virtue, like a hidden sun, breaks through his baser garments.
He's well got, sure.
What made you seek this place, sir?
Noble Theseus, to purchase name and do my ablest service to such a well-found wonder as thy worth. For only in thy court of all the world dwells fair-eyed honour.
All his words are worthy.
Sir, we are much indebted to your travail, nor shall you lose your wish. Pirithous, dispose of this fair gentleman.
Thanks, Theseus. Whate'er you are, you're mine, and I shall give you to a most noble service. To this lady, this bright young virgin, pray observe her goodness. You've honoured her fair birthday with your virtues, and, as your due, you're hers. Kiss her fair hand, sir.
Sir, you're a noble giver. Dearest beauty, thus let me seal my vowed faith. When your servant, your most unworthy creature, but offends you, command him die, and he shall.
That were too cruel. If you deserve well, sir, I shall soon see't. You're mine, and somewhat better than your rank I'll use you.
I'll see you furnished. And because you say you are a horseman, I must needs entreat you this afternoon to ride. But it is a rough one.
I like him better, Prince. I shall not then freeze in my saddle.
Sweet, you must be ready, and you, Emilia, and you, friend, and all, to-morrow by the sun to do observance to flowery May in Dian's wood. Wait well, sir, upon your mistress. Emily, I hope he shall not go afoot.
That were a shame, sir, while I have horses. Take your choice, and what you want at any time. Let me but know it. If you serve faithfully, I dare assure you you'll find a loving mistress.
If I do not, let me find that my father ever hated, disgrace and blows.
Go, lead the way. You've won it. It shall be so. You shall receive all dues fit for the honour you have won. 'Twere wrong else. Sister, beshrew my heart, you have a servant that, if I were a woman, would be master. But you are wise.
I hope too wise for that, sir.
Flourish. Exeunt. Scene 6. Before the prison. Enter Gaoler's daughter. Let all the dukes and all the devils roar. He is at liberty. I ventured for him, and out I have brought him to a little wood a mile hence. I have sent him where a cedar, higher than all the rest, spreads like a plain fast by a brook. And there he shall keep close, till I provide him files and food, for yet his iron bracelets are not off. O love, what a stout-hearted child thou art! My father durst better have endured cold iron than done it. I love him beyond love, and beyond reason, or wit, or safety. I have made him know it. I care not, I am desperate. If the law find me, and then condemn me for it, some wenches, some honest-hearted maids will sing my dirge, and tell to memory my death was noble, dying almost a martyr. That way he takes, I purpose, is my way too. Surely he cannot be so unmanly as to leave me here. If he do, maids will not so easily trust men again. And yet he has not thanked me for what I've done. No, not so much as kissed me. And that, methinks, is not so well. Nor scarcely could I persuade him to become a freeman. He made such scruples of the wrong he did to me and to my father. Yet I hope, when he considers more, this love of mine will take more root within him. Let him do what he will with me, so he use me kindly. For use me so he shall, or I'll proclaim him, and to his face, no man. I'll presently provide him necessaries, and pack my clothes up, and where there is a patch of ground I'll venture, so he be with me. By him, like a shadow, I'll e'er dwell. Within this hour the hubbub will be all o'er the prison. I am then kissing the man they look for. Farewell, father. Get many more such prisoners and such daughters, and shortly you may keep yourself. Now, to him. Exit. Act 3, Scene 1. A forest. Cornets in sundry places. Noise and hallooing, as of people a-maying. Enter Arcite.
The Duke has lost Hippolyta. Each took a several land. This is a solemn rite they owe bloomed May, and the Athenians pay it to the heart of ceremony. Oh, Queen Emilia, fresher than May, sweeter than her gold buttons on the boughs, or all the enamelled knacks of the mead or garden. Yea, we challenge too the bank of any nymph that makes the stream seem flowers. Thou, O jewel of the wood, of the world, hast likewise blessed a place with thy sole presence. In thy rumination that I, poor man, might eftsoons come between and chop on some cold thought, thrice blessed chance to drop on such a mistress expectation most guiltless on't. Tell me, O Lady Fortune, next after Emily my sovereign, how far I may be proud? She takes strong note of me, hath made me near her, and this beauteous morn, the primmest of all the year, presents me with a brace of horses. Two such steeds might well be by a pair of kings backed, in a field that their crown's title tried. Alas, alas, poor cousin Palamon, poor prisoner, thou so little dream'st upon my fortune that thou think'st thyself the happier thing to be so near Emilia. Me thou deem'st at Thebes, and therein wretched, although free. But if thou knew'st my mistress breathed on me, and that I eared her language, lived in her eye, oh, coz, what passion would enclose thee?
Enter Palamon out of a bush with his shackles. He bends his fist at Arcite.
Traitor kinsman! Thou shouldst perceive my passion if these signs of imprisonment were off me, and this hand but owner of a sword. By all oaths in one, I and the justice of my love would make thee a confessed traitor. O thou most perfidious that ever gently looked, the void'st of honour that e'er bore gentle token, falsest cousin that ever blood made kin, call'st thou her thine? I'll prove it in my shackles. With these hands, void of appointment, that thou liest, and art a very thief in love, a chaffy lord not worth the name of villain. Had I a sword and these house clogs away.
Dear cousin Palamon!
Cousin Arcite, give me language such as thou hast showed me feet.
Not finding in the circuit of my breast any gross stuff to form me like your blazon, holds me to the gentleness of answer. 'Tis your passion that thus mistakes, the which to you being enemy cannot to me be kind. Honour and honesty I cherish and depend on, howsoe'er you skip them in me. And with them, fair coz, I'll maintain my proceedings. Pray be pleased to show in generous terms your griefs, since that your questions with your equal, who professes to clear his own way with the mind and sword of a true gentleman.
That thou durst, Arcite.
My coz, you've been well advertised how much I dare. You've seen me use my sword against the advice of fear. Sure, of another you would not hear me doubted. But your silence should break out, though in the sanctuary.
Sir, I've seen you move in such a place which well might justify your manhood. You were called a good knight and a bold. But the whole week's not fair if any day it rain. Their valiant temper men lose when they incline to treachery, and then they fight like compelled bears, would fly were they not tied.
Kinsman, you might as well speak this and act it in your glass, as to his ear which now disdains you.
Come up to me. Quit me of these cold gyves. Give me a sword, though it be rusty, and the charity of one meal lend me. Come before me then, a good sword in thy hand, and do but say that Emily is thine. I will forgive the trespass thou hast done me, yea, my life, if then thou carry it. And brave souls in shades that have died manly, which will seek of me some news from earth, they shall get none but this, that thou art brave and noble.
Be content. Again betake you to your hawthorn house. With counsel of the night I will be here with wholesome viands. These impediments will I file off. You shall have garments and perfumes to kill the smell of the prison. After, when you shall stretch yourself and say but, Arcite, I am in plight, there shall be at your choice both sword and armour.
O you heavens! Dares any so noble bear a guilty business? None but only Arcite. Therefore none but Arcite in this kind is so bold.
Sweet Palamon,
I do embrace you and your offer. For your offer do it I only, sir. Your person, without hypocrisy, I may not wish more than my sword's edge on't.
Horns winded within.
You hear the horns. Enter your musset, lest this match betweens be crossed ere met. Give me your hand. Farewell. I'll bring you every needful thing. I pray you, take comfort and be strong.
Pray hold your promise, and do the deed with a bent brow. Most certain you love me not. Be rough with me, and pour this oil out of your language. By this air I could for each word give a cuff, my stomach not reconciled by reason.
Plainly spoken. Yet, pardon me hard language, when I spur my horse I chide him not. Content and anger in me have but one face.
Horns winded again.
Hark, sir, they call the scattered to the banquet. You must guess I have an office there.
Sir, your attendance cannot please heaven, and I know your office unjustly is achieved.
I've a good title, I'm persuaded. This question, sick betweens, by bleeding must be cured. I am a suitor that to your sword you will bequeath this plea, and talk of it no more.
But this one word. You are going now to gaze upon my mistress, for note you, mine she is.
Nay, then.
Nay, pray you. You talk of feeding me to breed me strength. You are going now to look upon a sun that strengthens what it looks on. There you have advantage o'er me. But enjoy it till I may enforce my remedy. Farewell.
Exeunt. Scene 2. Another part of the forest. Enter Gaoler's daughter.
He has mistook the break I meant. He's gone after his fancy. 'Tis now well nigh morning. No matter. Would it were perpetual night, and darkness lord of the world. Hark! 'Tis a wolf. In me hath grief slain fear. And but for one thing, I care for nothing, and that's Palamon. I reck not if the wolves would jaw me so he had this phial. What if I hallooed for him? I cannot halloo. If I whooped, what then? If he not answered, I should call a wolf, and do him but that service. I have heard strange howls this livelong night. Why may it not be they have made prey of him? He has no weapons. He cannot run. The jingling of his gyves might call fell things to listen, who have in them a sense to know a man unarmed, and can smell where resistance is. I'll set it down. He's torn to pieces. They howled many together, and then they fed on him. So much to that. Be bold to ring the bell. How stand I then? All's charred when he is gone. No, no, I lie. My father's to be hanged for his escape, myself to beg if I prized life so much as to deny my act, but that I would not, should I try death by dozens. I am moped. Food took I none these 2 days, sipped some water. I have not closed mine eyes, save when my lids scoured off their brine. Alas, dissolve my life. Let not my sense unsettle, lest I should drown or stab or hang myself. O state of nature, fail together in me, since thy best props are warped. So, which way now? The best way is the next way to a grave. Each errant step beside is torment. Lo, the moon is down, the crickets chirp, the screech-owl calls in the dawn. All offices are done, save what I fail in. But the point is this, an end, and that is all.
Exit. Scene 3. The same part of the forest as in Scene 1. Enter Arcite, with meat, wine, phials, etc.
I should be near the place. Ho, cousin Palamon!
Enter Palamon.
Arcite?
The same. I've brought you food and phials. Come forth and fear not. There's no Theseus.
Nor none so honest, Arcite.
That's no matter. We'll argue that hereafter. Come, take courage. You shall not die thus beastly. Here, sir, drink. I know you're faint. Then I'll talk further with you.
Arcite, thou mightst now poison me.
I might. But I must fear you first. Sit down, and good now, no more of these vain parleys. Let us not, having our ancient reputation with us, make talk for fools and cowards. To your health.
Drinks.
Do.
Pray sit down, then, and let me entreat you, by all the honesty and honour in you, no mention of this woman. 'Twill disturb us. We shall have time enough.
Well, sir, I'll pledge you.
Drinks.
Drink a good, hearty draught. It breeds good blood, man. Do you not feel it thaw you?
Stay. I'll tell you after a draught or two more.
Spare it not. The Duke has more, cuz. Eat now.
Yes.
I'm glad you've so good a stomach.
I'm glad to have so good meat to it.
It's not mad lodging here in the wild woods, cousin?
Yes, for them that have wild consciences.
How tastes your victuals? Your hunger needs no sauce, I see.
Not much, but if it did, yours is too tart, sweet cousin. What is this?
Venison.
'Tis a lusty meat. Give me more wine. Here, Arcite. To the wenches we have known in our days. The Lord Steward's daughter, do you remember her?
After you, cuz.
She loved a black-haired man.
She did so. Well, sir?
And I've heard some call him Arcite. And
out with it, faith.
She met him in an arbour. What did she there, cuz? Play of the virginals?
Something she did, sir.
Made her groan a month for it. Or 2. Or 3. Or 10.
The Marshal's sister had her share too, as I remember, cousin. Else there be tales abroad. You'll pledge her.
Yes.
Pretty brown wench 'tis. There was a time when young men went a-hunting in a wood and a broad beach, and thereby hangs a tale. Hey-ho.
For Emily, upon my life. Fool, away with this strained mirth. I say again, that sigh was breathed for Emily. Base cousin, darest thou break first?
You are wide.
By heaven and earth, there's nothing in thee honest.
Well, then I'll leave you. You're a beast now.
As thou makest me, traitor.
There's all things needful. Phials and shirts and perfumes. I'll come again some 2 hours hence, and bring that shall quiet all.
A sword and armour?
Fear me not. You're now too foul. Farewell. Get off your trinkets, you shall want naught.
Sir,
I'll hear no more.
Exit.
if he keep touch, he dies for it.
Exit. Scene 4. Another part of the forest. Enter Gaoler's daughter.
Oh, I'm very cold. And all the stars are out too. The little stars, and all that looks like eglets. The sun has seen my folly. Palamon! Alas, no, he's in heaven. Where am I now? Yonder's the sea, and there's a ship. How it tumbles! And there's a rock lies watching under water. Now it beats upon it. Now. There's a leak sprung, a sound one. How they cry! Run her before the wind, you'll lose all else. Up with a course or two, and tack about, boys. Good night. Good night. You're gone. Oh, I'm very hungry. Would I could find a fine frog. He would tell me news from all parts of the world. Then would I make a carrack of a cockle shell, and sail by east and north-east to the king of pygmies, for he tells fortunes rarely. Now my father 20-1 is trussed up in a trice to-morrow morning. I'll say never a word. For I'll cut my green coat a foot above my knee, and I'll clip my yellow locks an inch below my knee. Hey, nonny, nonny, hey, nonny, nonny. He's by me a white cut, forth for to ride, and I'll go seek him through the world that is so wide. Hey, nonny, nonny, hey, nonny, nonny. Ah, for a prick now, like a nightingale, to put my breast against. I shall sleep like a top else.
Exit. Scene 5. Another part of the forest. Enter Gerald, 4 countrymen as morris dancers, another as the Bavian, 5 wenches, and a tabourer.
Fie, fie! What tediosity and disinsanity is here among ye? Have my rudiments been laboured so long with ye, milked unto ye, and, by a figure, even the very plum broth and marrow of my understanding laid upon ye? And do you still cry, where, and how, and wherefore? You most coarse frizz capacities, ye Janes of judgment! Have I said, thus let be, and there let be, and then let be, and no man understand me? Pro deum medius fidius, ye all are dunces. For why, here stand I. Here the Duke comes. There are you, close in a thicket. The Duke appears, I meet him, and unto him I utter learned things, and many figures. He hears, and nods, and hums, and then cries rare, and I go forward. At length I fling my cap up, mark there. Then do you, as once did Meleager and the boar, break comely out before him like true lovers. Cast yourself in a body decently, and sweetly, by a figure, trace and turn, boys.
And sweetly we will do it, Master Gerald.
Draw up the company. Where's the tabourer?
Why, Timothy.
Here, my mad boys, have at ye.
But I say, where's their women?
Here's Frizz and Maudlin.
And little Luce with the white legs, and bouncing Barbary.
And freckled Nell, that never failed her master.
Where be your ribbons, maids? Swim with your bodies, and carry it sweetly and deliverly, and now and then a favour and a frisk.
Let us alone, sir.
Where's the rest of the music?
Dispersed, as you commanded.
Couple then, and see what's wanting. Where's the bavian? My friend, carry your tale without offence or scandal to the ladies, and be sure you tumble with audacity and manhood, and when you bark, do it with judgment.
Yes, sir.
Quosque tandem. Here is a woman wanting.
We may go whistle, all the fat's in the fire.
We have, as learned authors utter, washed a tile. We have been fartus, and laboured vainly.
This is that scornful piece, that scurvy hilding that gave her promise faithfully she would be here, Cicely, the sempster's daughter. The next gloves that I give her shall be dogskin. Nay, and she failed me once. You can tell, Arcas, she swore by wine and bread she would not break.
An Elam woman, a learned poet says, unless by the tail and with thy teeth thou hold, will either fail. In manners, this was a false position.
A fire ill take her? Does she flinch now?
What shall we determine, sir?
Nothing. Our business is become a nullity. Yea, and a woeful and a precious nullity.
Now, when the credit of our town lay on it, now to be frample. Go thy ways, I'll remember thee, I'll fit thee.
Enter Gaoler's daughter.
The Georgia Low came from the south, from the coast of Barbaria, and there he met with brave gallants of war, by one, by two, by three. Well hailed, you jolly gallants, and whither now are you bound? Oh, let me have your company till I come to the sound. There was 3 fools fell out about a howlet. The one said it was an owl, the other he said nay. The third he said it was a hawk, and her bells were cut away.
There's a dainty and mad woman, master. Come in the nick, as mad as a March hare. If we can get her dance, we are made again. I warrant her she'll do the rarest gambols.
A mad woman? We are made, boys.
And are you mad, good woman?
I'd be sorry else. Give me your hand.
Why?
I can tell your fortune. You are a fool. Tell 10. I have posed him. Buzz. Friend, you must eat no white bread. If you do, your teeth will bleed extremely. Shall we dance, ho? I know you. You're a tinker. Sirrah Tinker.
D.A. Boney. A tinker damsel?
Or a conjurer. Raise me a devil now, and let him play Qui passa o' the bells and bones.
Go, take her, and fluently persuade her to a peace. Et opus exigi, quod nec Iovis ira, nec idnis. Strike up, and lead her in.
Come, lass, let's trip it.
I'll lead.
Do.
Wind horns.
Persuasively and cunningly. Away, boys! I hear the horns. Give me some meditation, and mark your cue.
Exeunt all but Gerald.
Pallas, inspire me.
Enter Theseus, Pirithous, Hippolyta, Emilia, Arcite, and train.
This way the stag took.
Stay and edify.
What have we here?
Some country sport, upon my life, sir.
Well, sir, go forward. We will edify. Ladies, sit down. We'll stay it.
Thou doughty duke, all hail. All hail, sweet ladies.
This is a cold beginning.
If you but favour our country pastime maidens, We are a few of those collected here that ruder tongues distinguish villager. And to say verity and not to fable, we are a merry rout or else a rabble. Or company, or by a figure chorus, that for thy dignity will dance a morris. And I, that am the rectifier of all, by title pedagogus, that let fall the birch upon the breeches of the small ones, and humble with a ferula the tall ones, do here present this machine or this frame, and dainty Duke, whose doughty dismal fame, from Dis to Daedalus, from post to pillar, is blown abroad, help me, thy poor well-willer. And with thy twinkling eyes look right and straight upon this mighty moor of mickle weight. Is now comes in, which being glued together, makes Morris, and the cause that we came hither, the body of our sport of no small study. I first appear, though rude and raw and muddy, to speak before thy noble grace this tenor, at whose great feet I offer up my penner. The next, the Lord of May and Lady Bright, the chambermaid and serving man by night, that seek out silent hanging, then mine host and his fat spouse, that welcomes to their cost. The galled traveller with a beckoning informs the tapster to inflame the reckoning. Then the beast-eating clown, and next the fool, the babian with long tail and eke long tool. Cum multis alice that make a dance, say I, and all shall presently advance.
Aye, aye, by any means, dear Domine.
Produce.
Intrate fili. Come forth and foot it.
Enter the 4 countrymen, the Bavian, the Taborer, the 5 wenches, and the gaoler's daughter, with others of both sexes. They dance a morris. After which Gerald speaks the epilogue.
Ladies, if we have been merry, and have pleased ye with a derry, and a derry, and a down, say, the schoolmaster's no clown. Duke, if we have pleased thee too, and have done as good boys should do, give us but a tree or twain for a maypole, and again, ere another year run out, we'll make thee laugh, and all this rout.
Take 20, Domine. How does my sweetheart?
Never so pleased, sir.
'Twas an excellent dance, and for a preface I never heard a better.
Schoolmaster, I thank you. One see 'em all rewarded.
And here's something to paint your pole withal.
Gives money.
Now, to our sports again.
May the stag thou huntest stand long, and thy dogs be swift and strong. May they kill him without lets, and the ladies eat his doucets. Come, we're all made. Die deque omnes. Ye have danced rarely, wenches.
Wind horns. Exeunt. Scene 6. The same part of the forest as in Scene 3. Enter Palamon from the bush.
About this hour my cousin gave his faith to visit me again, and with him bring 2 swords and 2 good armours. If he fail, he's neither man nor soldier. When he left me, I did not think a week could have restored my lost strength to me. I was grown so low and crestfallen with my wants. I thank thee, Arcite, thou art yet a fair foe, and I feel myself, with this refreshing, able once again to outdure danger. To delay it longer would make the world think, when it comes to hearing, that I lay fatting like a swine to fight and not a soldier. Therefore this blessed morning shall be the last, and that sword he refuses, if it but hold, I kill him with. 'Tis justice. So, love and fortune for me,
Oh, good morrow.
Enter Arcite with armours and swords.
Good morrow, noble kinsman.
I have put you to too much pain, sir.
That too much, fair cousin, is but a debt to honour and my duty.
Would you were so in all, sir. I could wish you as kind a kinsman as you forced me find a beneficial foe, that my embraces might thank you, not my blows.
I shall think either well done, a noble recompense.
Then I shall quit you.
Defy me in these fair terms, and you show more than a mistress to me. No more anger, as you love anything that's honourable. We were not bred to talk, man. When we are armed and both upon our guards, then let our fury, like meeting of two tides, fly strongly from us. And then, to whom the birthright of this beauty truly pertains, without upbraidings, scorns, despisings of our persons, and such poutings fit for girls and schoolboys, will be seen, and quickly, yours or mine. Will please you arm, sir? Or if you feel yourself not fitting yet, and furnished with your old strength, I'll stay, cousin, and every day discourse you into health, as I am spared. Your person I am friends with, and I could wish I had not said I loved her, though I died. But, loving such a lady, and justifying my love, I must not fly from't.
Arcite, thou art so brave an enemy that no man but thy cousin's fit to kill thee. I'm well and lusty. Choose your arms.
Choose you, sir.
Wilt thou exceed in all, or dost thou do it to make me spare thee?
If you think so, cousin, you are deceived. For as I am a soldier, I will not spare you.
That's well said.
You'll find it.
Then as I am an honest man, and love with all the justice of affection, I'll pay thee soundly. This I'll take.
That's mine, then. I'll arm you first.
Do. Prithee, tell me, cousin, where gotst thou this good armour?
'Tis the Duke's, and, to say true, I stole it. Do I pinch you?
No.
It's not too heavy?
I've worn a lighter, but I shall make it serve.
I'll buckle it close.
By any means.
You care not for a grand guard?
No, we'll use no horses. I perceive you'd fain be at that fight.
I'm indifferent.
Faith, so am I. Good cousin, thrust the buckle through far enough.
I warrant you.
My casque now.
Will you fight bare-armed?
We shall be the nimbler.
But use your gauntlets, though. Those are the least. Prithee, take mine, good cousin.
Thank you, Arcite. How do I look? Am I fallen much away?
Faith, very little. Love's used you kindly.
I warrant thee. I'll strike home.
Do, and spare not. I'll give you cause, sweet cousin.
Now to you, sir. Methinks this armour's very like that, Arcite, thou worst that day the 3 kings fell, but lighter.
That was a very good one. And that day I well remember you outdid me, cousin. I never saw such valour. When you charged upon the left wing of the enemy, I spurred hard to come up, and under me I had a right good horse.
You had indeed. A bright bay, I remember.
Yes, but all was vainly laboured in me. You outwent me, nor could my wishes reach you. Yet a little I did, by imitation.
More by virtue. You're modest, cousin.
When I saw you charge first, methought I heard a dreadful clap of thunder break from the troop.
But still before that flew the lightning of your valour. Stay a little, is not this piece too straight?
No, 'tis well.
I would have nothing hurt thee but my sword. A bruise would be dishonour.
Now I'm perfect.
Stand off, then.
Take my sword. I hold it better.
I thank ye no. Keep it. Your life lies on it. Here's one. If it but hold, I ask no more for all my hopes. My cause and honour guard me.
And me my love. Is there aught else to say?
They bow several ways, then advance and stand.
This only, and no more. Thou art mine aunt's son, and that blood we desire to shed is mutual. In me thine, and in thee mine. My sword is in my hand, and if thou kill'st me, the gods and I forgive thee. If there be a place prepared for those that sleep in honour, I wish his weary soul that falls may win it. Fight bravely, cousin. Give me thy noble hand.
Here, Palamon. This hand shall never more come near thee with such friendship.
I commend thee.
If I fall, curse me and say I was a coward, for none but such dare die in these just trials. Once more, farewell, my cousin.
Farewell, Arcite.
They fight. Horns within. They stand.
Lo, cousin, lo! Our folly has undone us.
Why?
This is the Duke a-hunting, as I told you. If we he found, we are wretched. I'll retire for honour's sake and safety. Presently into your bush again, sir. We shall find too many hours to die in. Gentle cousin, if you be seen, you perish instantly for breaking prison, and I, if you reveal me, for my contempt. Then all the world will scorn us, and say we had a noble difference, but base disposers of it.
No, no, cousin, I will no more be hidden or put off this great adventure to a second trial. I know your cunning, and I know your cause. He that faints now, shame take him. Put thyself upon thy present guard.
Are you not mad?
Or I will make the advantage of this hour mine own, and what to come shall threaten me, I fear, less than my fortune. No, weak cousin, I love Emilia, and in that I'll bury thee and all crosses else.
Then come what can come. Thou shalt know, Palamon, I dare as well die as discourse or sleep. Only this fears me. The law will have the honour of our ends. Ah, have at thy life.
Look to thine own well, Arcite.
They fight again. Horns. Enter Theseus, Hippolyta, Emilia, Pirithous, and train.
What ignorant and mad malicious traitors are you, that gainst the tenor of my laws are making battle, thus like knights appointed, without my leave and officers of arms? By Castor, both shall die.
Hold thy word, Theseus. We are certainly both traitors, both despisers of thee and of thy goodness. I am Palamon, that cannot love thee, he that broke thy prison. Think well what that deserves. And this is Arcite, a bolder traitor never trod thy ground, a falser ne'er seemed friend. This is the man was begged and banished. This is he contemns thee and what thou darest do. And in this disguise, against thine own edict, follows thy sister, that fortunate bright star, the fair Emilia, whose servant, if there be a right in seeing, and first bequeathing of the soul to, justly I am, and which is more, dares think her his. This treachery, like a most trusty lover, I called him now to answer. If thou beest, as thou art spoken, great and virtuous, the true decider of all injuries, say fight again, and thou shalt see me, Theseus, do such a justice thou thyself wilt envy. Then take my life. I'll woo thee to it.
Oh, heaven! What more than man is this?
I've sworn.
We seek not the breath of mercy, Theseus. 'Tis to me a thing as soon to die as thee to say it, and no more moved. Where this man calls me traitor, let me say thus much. If in love be treason, in service of so excellent a beauty, as I love most, and in that faith will perish, as I have brought my life here to confirm it, as I have served her truest, worthiest, as I dare kill this cousin that denies it, so let me be most traitor, and ye please me. For scorning thy edict, Duke, ask that lady why she is fair, and why her eyes command me stay here to love her. And if she say traitor, I am a villain fit to lie unburied.
Thou shalt have pity of us both, O Theseus, if unto neither thou show mercy. Stop as thou art just thy noble ear against us, as thou art valiant for thy cousin's soul, whose 12 strong labours crown his memory. Let us die together at one instant, Duke. Only a little let him fall before me, that I may tell my soul he shall not have her.
I grant your wish, for to say true, your cousin has 10 times more offended, for I gave him more mercy than you found, sir, your offences being no more than his. None here speak for him, for ere the sun set, both shall sleep for ever.
Alas, the pity! Now or never, sister, speak, not to be denied. That face of yours will bear the curses else of after ages for these lost cousins.
In my face, dear sister, I find no anger to 'em, nor no ruin. The misadventure of their own eyes kill 'em. Yet that I will be woman and have pity. My knees shall grow to the ground, but I'll get mercy. Help me, dear sister. In a deed so virtuous, the powers of all women will be with us. Most royal brother.
Sir, by our tie of marriage.
By your own spotless honour.
By that faith, that fair hand, and that honest heart you gave me.
By that you would have pity in another, by your own virtues infinite.
By valour, by all the chaste knights I have ever pleased you.
These are strange conjurings.
Nay, then I'm in too. By all our friendships, sir, by all our dangers, by all you love most, wars, and this sweet lady.
By that you would have trembled to deny a blushing maid.
By your own eyes, by strength in which you swore I went beyond all women, almost all men, and yet I yielded, Theseus.
To crown all this, by your most noble soul, which cannot want due mercy, I beg first.
Next hear my prayers.
Last, let me entreat, sir.
For mercy.
Mercy.
Mercy on these princes.
Ye make my faith real. Say I felt compassion to 'em both. How would you place it?
Upon their lives, but with their banishments.
You are a right woman, sister. You have pity, but want the understanding where to use it. If you desire their lives, invent a way safer than banishment. Can these two live and have the agony of love about him, and not kill one another? Every day they'd fight about you, hourly bring your honour in public question with their swords. Be wise, then, and here forget him. It concerns your credit and my oath equally. I have said they die. Better they fall by the law than one another. Bow not my honour.
O my noble brother, that oath was rashly made, and in your anger. Your reason will not hold it. If such vows stand for express will, all the world must perish. Beside, I have another oath gainst yours, of more authority, I'm sure more love, not made in passion neither, but good heed.
What is it, sister?
Urge it home, brave lady.
That you would ne'er deny me anything fit for my modest suit, and your free granting. I tie you to your word now. If you fail in't, think how you maim your honour. For now I am set to begging, sir. I am deaf to all but your compassion. How their lives might breed the ruin of my name's opinion. Shall anything that loves me perish for me? That were cruel wisdom. Do men proin that straight young boughs that blush with thousand blossoms, because they may be rotten? O Duke Theseus, the goodly mothers that have groaned for these, and all the longing maids that ever loved, if your vows stand, shall curse me and my beauty, and, in their funeral songs for these two cousins, despise my cruelty, and cry woe worth me, till I am nothing but the scorn of women. For heaven's sake save their lives, and banish 'em.
On what conditions?
Swear 'em never more to make me their contention, or to know me, to tread upon thy dukedom, and to be, wherever they shall travel, ever strangers to one another.
I'll be cut to pieces before I take this oath. Forget I love her? Oh, all ye gods, despise me then. Thy banishment I not mislike, so we may fairly carry our swords and cause along. Else never trifle, but take our lives, Duke. I must love, and will, and for that love must and dare kill this cousin on any peace the earth has.
Will you, Arcite, take these conditions?
He's a villain, then.
These are men.
No, never, Duke. 'Tis worse to me than begging to take my life so basely. Though I think I never shall enjoy her, yet I'll preserve the honour of affection, and die for her, make death a devil.
What may be done? For now I feel compassion.
Let it not fall again, sir.
Say, Emilia, if one of them were dead, as one must, are you content to take the other to your husband? They cannot both enjoy you. They are princes as goodly as your own eyes, and as noble as ever fame yet spoke of. Look upon him, and if you can love, end this difference. I give consent. Are you content too, princes?
With all our souls.
He that she refuses must die then.
Any death thou canst invent, Duke. If I fall from that mouth, I fall with favour, and lovers yet unborn shall bless my ashes.
If she refuse me, yet my grave will wed me, and soldiers sing my epitaph.
Make choice, then.
I cannot, sir. They are both too excellent. For me, a hair shall never fall of these men.
What will become of them?
Thus I ordain it, and by mine honour once again it stands, or both shall die. You shall both to your country, and each within this month, accompanied with 3 fair knights, appear again in this place, in which I'll plant a pyramid, and whether before us that are here can force his cousin by fair and knightly strength to touch the pillar, He shall enjoy her, the other lose his head and all his friends, nor shall he grudge to fall, nor think he dies with interest in this lady. Will this content ye?
Yes. Here, cousin Arcite, I am friends again, till that hour.
I embrace ye.
Are you content, sister?
Yes, I must, sir, else both miscarry.
Come, shake hands again then, and take heed, as you are gentlemen, this quarrel sleep till the hour prefixed, and hold your course.
We dare not fail thee, Theseus.
Come, I'll give ye now usage like to princes and to friends. When ye return, who wins I'll settle here, who loses, yet I'll weep upon his bier.
Exeunt. Act 4, Scene 1. Athens, a room in the prison. Enter Gaoler and first friend.
Hear you no more? Was nothing said of me concerning the escape of Palamon? Good sir, remember—
Nothing that I heard, for I came home before the business was fully ended. Yet I might perceive ere I departed a great likelihood of both their pardons. For Hippolyta and fair-eyed Emilia upon their knees begged with such handsome pity, that the Duke, methought, stood staggering whether he should follow his rash oath, or the sweet compassion of those two ladies, and to second them, that truly noble prince Pirithous, half his own heart, set in too, that I hope all shall be well, neither heard I one question of your name or his scape.
Pray heaven it hold so.
Enter second friend.
Be of good comfort, man. I bring you news. Good news.
They are welcome.
Palamon has cleared you, and got your pardon, and discovered how and by whose means he escaped, which was your daughter's, whose pardon is procured too. And the prisoner, not to be held ungrateful to her goodness, has given a sum of money to her marriage. A large one, I'll assure you.
Ye are a good man, and ever bring good news.
How was it ended?
Why, as it should be. They that never begged, but they prevailed, had their suits fairly granted. The prisoners have their lives.
I knew 'twould be so.
But there be new conditions, which you'll hear of at better time.
I hope they are good.
They're honourable. How good they'll prove, I'll know not.
'Twill be known.
Enter wooer.
Alas, sir, where's your daughter?
Why do you ask?
Oh, sir, when did you see her?
How he looks!
This morning.
Was she well? Was she in health, sir? Where did she sleep?
These are strange questions.
I do not think she was very well, for now you make me mind her. But this very day I asked her questions, and she answered me so far from what she was, so childishly, so sillily, as if she were a fool, and innocent, and I was very angry. But what of her, sir?
Nothing but my pity, but you must know it, and as good by me as by another that less loves her.
Well, sir.
Not right.
Not well?
No, sir, not well. 'Tis too true. She is mad.
It cannot be.
Believe, you'll find it so.
I half suspected what you have told me. The gods comfort her. Either this was her love to Palamon, or fear of my miscarrying on his scape, or both.
'Tis likely.
But why all this haste, sir?
I'll tell you quickly. As I late was angling in the great lake that lies behind the palace, from the far shore, thick set with reeds and sedges, as patiently I was attending sport, I heard a voice, a shrill one, and attentive I gave my ear, when I might well perceive 'twas one that sung, and by the smallness of it, a boy or a woman. I then left my angle to his own skill, came near, but yet perceived not who made the sound. The rushes and the reeds had so encompassed it. I laid me down and listened to the words she sung, for then, through a small glade cut by the fishermen, I saw it was your daughter.
Pray, go on, sir.
She sang much, but no sense. Only I heard her repeat this often, Palamon is gone to the wood to gather mulberries. I'll find him out tomorrow.
Pretty soul.
His shackles will betray him. He'll be taken, and what shall I do then? I'll bring a bevy. 100 black-eyed maids that love as I do, with chaplets on their heads of daffodillies, with cherry lips and cheeks of damask roses, and all will dance and antic for the Duke and beg his pardon. Then she talked of you, sir, that you must lose your head tomorrow morning, and she must gather flowers to bury you, and see the house made handsome. Then she sang nothing but willow, 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 and between ever was Palamon, fair Palamon, and Palamon was a tall young man. The place was knee-deep where she sat, her careless tresses a wreath of bulrushes rounded. About her stuck 1,000 fresh water flowers of several colours, that methought she appeared like the fair nymph that feeds the lakes with waters, or as an iris newly dropped down from heaven. Rings she made of rushes that grew by, and to him spoke, the prettiest posies. Thus our true love's tied, this you may lose, not me, and many a one. And then she wept, and sung again, and sighed, and with the same breath smiled, and kissed her hand.
Alas, what pity 'tis!
I made in to her. She saw me, and straight sought the flood. I saved her, and set her safe to land, when presently she slipped away, and to the city made, with such a cry and swiftness that, believe me, she left me far behind her. 3 or 4 I saw from far off cross her, one of 'em I knew to be your brother, where she stayed, and fell scarce to be got away. I left them with her, and hither came to tell you. Here they are.
Enter Gaoler's brother, daughter, and others. May you nevermore enjoy the light. Is not this a fine song?
Oh, a very fine one.
I can sing 20 more.
I think you can.
Yes, truly can I. I can sing the Broom and Bonny Robin. Are not you a tailor?
Yes.
Where's my wedding gown?
I'll bring it tomorrow.
Do, very rarely. I must be abroad else to call the maids and pay the minstrels. Oh, fair, oh, sweet.
You must even take it patiently.
'Tis true.
Good even, good men. Pray, did you ever hear of one young Palamon?
Yes, wench, we know him.
Is not a fine young gentleman?
'Tis love.
By no means cross her. She is then distempered, far worse than now she shews.
Yes, he's a fine man.
Oh, is he so? You have a sister?
Yes.
But she shall never have him. Tell her so. For a trick that I know. You'd better look to her. And if she see him once, she's gone. She's done and undone in an hour. All the young maids of our town are in love with him. But I laugh at 'em, and let 'em all alone. Is not a wise course?
Yes.
They come from all parts of the dukedom to him. I'll warrant ye.
She's lost, past all cure.
Heaven forbid, man!
Come hither. You're a wise man.
Does she know him?
No. Would she did?
You're master of a ship.
Yes.
Where's your compass?
Here.
Set it to the north. And now, direct your course to the wood, where Palamon lies longing for me. For the tackling let me alone. Come, weigh my hearts cheerly.
Away, away, away.
'Tis up.
'Tis up. The wind is
Where's
fair.
your whistle, master?
Top the bowling.
Up the bowling,
Out with the
out with the
mainsail.
mainsail.
Let's get her in.
Up to the top, boy.
Where's the pilot?
Here.
What canst thou?
A fair wood.
Bear for it, master. Tack about. When Cynthia with her borrowed light. Exeunt. Scene 2. Athens. A room in the palace. Enter Emilia with 2 pictures.
Yet I may bind those wounds up, that must open and bleed to death for my sake else. I'll choose, and end their strife. 2 such young handsome men shall never fall for me. Their weeping mothers, following the dead cold ashes of their sons, shall never curse my cruelty. Good heaven, what a sweet face has Arcite! If wise nature, with all her best endowments, all those beauties she sows into the births of noble bodies, were here a mortal woman, and had in her the coy denials of young maids, yet doubtless she would run mad for this man. What an eye, of what a fiery sparkle and quick sweetness has this young prince! Here Love himself sits smiling, just another wanton Ganymede, set Jove afire with, and enforce the gods snatch up the goodly boy, and set him by him, a shining constellation. What a brow, of what a spacious majesty he carries, arched like the great-eyed Juno's, but far sweeter, smoother than Pelops' shoulder. Fame and honour, methinks from hence as from a promontory pointed in heaven, should clap their wings, and sing to all the underworld the loves and fights of gods, and such men near 'em. Palamon is but his foil, to him a mere dull shadow. He's swarth and meagre, of an eye as heavy as if he had lost his mother, a still temper, no stirring in him, no alacrity, of all this sprightly sharpness, not a smile. Yet these that we count errors may become him. Narcissus was a sad boy, but a heavenly. Oh, who can find the bent of women's fancy? I am a fool, my reason is lost in me. I have no choice, and I have lied so lewdly that women ought to beat me. On my knees I ask thy pardon, Palamon. Thou art alone, and only beautiful, and these the eyes, these the bright lamps of beauty, that command and threaten love, and what young maid dare cross 'em? What a bold gravity, and yet inviting, has this brown manly face. O love, this only from this hour is complexion. Lie there, Arcite, thou art a changeling to him, a mere gipsy, and this the noble body. I am sotted, utterly lost, my virgin's faith has fled me, for if my brother but e'en now had asked me whether I loved, I had run mad for Arcite. Now if my sister, more for Palamon. Stand both together. Now come, ask me, brother. Alas, I know not. Ask me now, sweet sister. I may go look. What a mere childish fancy, that having two fair gods of equal sweetness, cannot distinguish, but must cry for both.
Enter a gentleman.
From the noble duke your brother, madam, I bring you news. The knights are come.
To end the quarrel?
Yes.
Would I might end first. What sins have I committed, chaste Diana, that my unspotted youth must now be soiled with blood of princes, and my chastity be made the altar where the lives of lovers, two greater and two better never yet made mothers joy, must be the sacrifice to my unhappy beauty? I had rather both, so neither for my sake should fall untimely.
Enter Theseus, Hippolyta, Pirithous, and attendants.
Bring 'em in, quickly, by any means. I long to see 'em. Your two contending lovers are returned, and with them their fair knights. Now, my fair sister, you must love one of them.
Must these men die too?
Who saw 'em?
I, a while.
And I.
Enter a messenger.
From whence come you, sir?
From the knights.
Pray speak, you that have seen them, what they are.
I will, sir, and truly what I think. 6 braver spirits than these they have brought, if we judge by the outside, I never saw nor read of. He that stands in the first place with Arcite, by his seeming should be a stout man, by his face a prince, his very looks to say him, his complexion nearer a brown than black, stern and yet noble, which shows him hardy, fearless, proud of dangers. The circles of his eyes show fire within him, and as a heated lion so he looks. His hair hangs long behind him, black and shining like raven's wings, his shoulders broad and strong, armed long and round, and on his thigh a sword, hung by a curious baldric, when he frowns to seal his will with. Bearer, O my conscience, was never soldier's friend.
Thou hast well described him.
Yet a great deal short, methinks, of him that's first with Palamon.
Pray speak him, friend.
I guess he is a prince too, and, if it may be, greater, for his show has all the ornament of honour in it. He's somewhat bigger than the knight he spoke of, but of a face far sweeter. His complexion is as a ripe grape, ruddy. He has felt, without doubt, that he fights for, and so apter to make this cause his own. In's face appears all the fair hopes of what he undertakes, and when he's angry, then a settled valour, not tainted with extremes, runs through his body, and guides his arm to brave things. Fear he cannot, he shows no such soft temper. His head's yellow, hard-haired and curled, thick, twinned, like ivy tods, not to undo with thunder. In his face the livery of the warlike maid appears, pure red and white, for yet no beard has blessed him, and in his rolling eyes sits victory, as if she ever meant to crown his valour. His nose stands high, a character of honour. His red lips after fights are fit for ladies. When he speaks, his tongue sounds like a trumpet. All his lineaments are as a man would wish 'em, strong and clean. He wears a well-steeled axe, the staff of gold. His age some 25.
There's another, a little man, but of a tough soul, seeming as great as any, fairer promises, in such a body yet I never looked on.
Oh, he that's freckle-faced?
The same, my lord. Are they not sweet ones?
Yes, they're well.
Methinks, being so few and well disposed, they show great and fine art and nature. His white-haired, not wanton white, but such a manly colour, next to an auburn, tough and nimble set, which shews an active soul. His arms are brawny, linked with strong sinews. To the shoulder-piece gently they swell, like women new conceived, which speaks him prone to labour, never fainting under the weight of arms, stout-hearted still, but when he stirs a tiger, he is great-eyed, which yields compassion where he conquers, sharp to spy advantages, and when he finds them, he is swift to take 'em his. He does no wrongs, nor takes none. He is round-faced, and when he smiles, he shows a lover, when he frowns a soldier. About his head he wears the winner's oak, and in it stuck the favour of his lady. His age some 36. In his hand he bears a charging staff, embossed with silver.
Are they all thus?
They're all the sons of honour.
Now, as I have a soul, I long to see 'em. Lady, you shall see men fight now.
I wish it, but not the cause, my lord. They would show bravely about the titles of 2 kingdoms. 'Tis pity love should be so tyrannous. O my soft-hearted sister, what think you? Weep not, till they weep blood.
You have steeled 'em with your beauty. Honoured friend, to you I give the field. Pray order it fitting the persons that must use it.
Yes, sir.
Come, I'll go visit 'em. I cannot stay. Their fame has fired me so, till they appear. Good friend, be royal.
There shall want no bravery.
Poor wench, go weep, for whosoever wins loses a noble cousin for thy sins.
Exeunt. Scene 3. Athens. A room in the prison. Enter Gaoler, wooer, and doctor.
Her distraction is more at some time of the moon than at the other some, is it not?
She is continually in a harmless distemper, sleeps little, altogether without appetite, save often drinking, dreaming of another world, and a better. And what broken piece of matter soe'er she's about, the name Palamon lards it, that she farces every business withal, fits it to every question. Look, where she comes, you shall perceive her behaviour.
And her daughter. I have forgot it quite. The burden on't was Downa, Downa, and penned by no worse man than Geraldo, Emilia's schoolmaster. He's as fantastical too as ever he may go upon's legs. For in the next world will Dido see Palamon, and then will she be out of love with Aeneas.
What stuff's here? Poor soul.
Ain't thus all day long.
Now for this charm I told you of. You must bring a piece of silver on the tip of your tongue, or no ferry. Then if it be your chance to come where the blessed spirits are, there's a sight now. We maids that have our lives perished, cracked to pieces with love, we shall come there, and do nothing all day long but pick flowers with Proserpine. Then will I make Palamon a nosegay. Then let him mark me. Then—
How prettily she is amiss. Note her a little further.
Faith, I'll tell you. Sometime we go to barley break,
we of the blest. Alas, 'tis a sore life they have i' the other place, such burning, hissing, howling, chattering, cursing. Oh, they have such shrewd measures. Take heed, if one be mad, or hang, or drown themselves, thither they go, Jupiter bless us. And there they shall be put in a cauldron of lead and usurer's grease, amongst a whole million of cut-purses, and there boil like a gammon of bacon that will never be enough.
How she continues this fancy! 'Tis not an engraft madness, but a most thick and profound melancholy.
To hear there a proud lady and a proud city wife howl together! I were a beast, and I'd call it good sport. I will be true, my stars, my fate. I will be true. Exit daughter.
What think you of her, sir?
I think she has a perturbed mind, which I cannot minister to.
Alas, what then?
Understand you she ever affected any man ere she beheld Palamon?
I was once, sir, in great hope she had fixed a liking on this gentleman, my friend.
I did think so too, and would account I had a great pen'orth on it, to give half my state, that both she and I at this present stood unfeignedly on the same terms.
That intemperate surfeit of her eye hath distempered the other senses. They may return and settle again to execute their preordained faculties. But they are now in a most extravagant vagary. This you must do. Confine her to a place where the light may rather seem to steal in than be permitted. Take upon you, young sir, her friend, the name of Palamon. Say you come to eat with her and to commune of love. This will catch her attention, for this her mind beats upon. Other objects that are inserted between her mind and eye become the pranks and friskings of her madness. Sing to her such green songs of love as she says Palamon hath sung in prison. Come to her, stuck in as sweet flowers as the season is mistress of, and that too make an addition of some other compounded orders which are grateful to the sense. All this shall become Palamon, for Palamon can sing, and Palamon is sweet, and every good thing. Desire to eat with her, carve her, drink to her, and still among intermingle your petition of grace and acceptance into her favour. Learn what mates have been her companions and playfellows, and let them repair to her with Palamon in their mouths, and appear with tokens, as if they suggested for him. It is a falsehood she is in, which is with falsehoods to be combated. This may bring her to eat, to sleep, and to reduce what is now out of square in her into the former love and regiment. I have seen it approved, how many times I know not. But to make the number more, I have a great hope in this. I will, between the passages of this project, come in with my appliance. Let us put it in execution, and hasten the success, which, doubt not, will bring forth comfort.
Exeunt. Act 5. Scene 1. Athens. An open space before the temples of Mars, Venus, and Diana. Enter Theseus, Pirithous, Hippolyta, and attendants.
Now let him enter, and before the gods tender their holy prayers. Let the temples burn bright with sacred fires, and the altars in hallowed clouds commend their swelling incense to those above us. Let no dew be wanting.
Flourish of cornets.
They have a noble work in hand, will honour the very powers that love 'em.
Enter Palamon, Arcite, and their knights.
Sir, they enter.
You valiant and strong-hearted enemies, you royal germain foes, that this day come to blow the nearness out that flames between ye, lay by your anger for an hour, and dove-like before the holy altars of your helpers, the all-feared gods, bow down your stubborn bodies. Your ire is more than mortal, so your help be, and as the gods regard ye, fight with justice. I'll leave you to your prayers, and betwixt ye I part my wishes.
Honour crown the worthiest.
Exeunt Theseus and train.
The glass is running now that cannot finish till one of us expire.
Think you but thus, that were there aught in me which strove to show mine enemy in this business, were it one eye against another, arm oppressed by arm, I would destroy the offender, 'cause I would, though parcel of myself, then from this gather how I should tender you.
I'm in labour to push your name, your ancient love, our kindred, out of my memory, and in the self-same place to seat something I would confound. So hoist we the sails that must these vessels port, even where the heavenly limiter pleases.
You speak well. Before I turn, let me embrace thee, cousin. This I shall never do again.
They embrace.
One farewell.
Why let it be so? Farewell, coz.
Farewell, sir.
Exeunt Palamon and his knights.
Knights, kinsmen, lovers, yea, my sacrifices, true worshippers of Mars, whose spirit in you expels the seeds of fear and the apprehension which still is father of it, go with me before the God of our profession. There require of him the hearts of lions, and the breath of tigers, yea, the fierceness too, yea, the speed also, to go on, I mean, else wish we to be snails. You know my prize must be dragged out of blood. Force and great feet must put my garland on, where she will stick the queen of flowers. Our intercession, then, must be to him that makes the camp a cistern brimmed with the blood of men. Give me your aid, and bend your spirits towards him.
They advance to the altar of Mars, and fall on their faces, then kneel.
Thou mighty one, that with thy power hast turned green Neptune into purple, whose approach comets pre-warn, whose havoc in vast field unearthed skulls proclaim, whose breath blows down the teeming Ceres' foison, who dost pluck with hand armipotent from forth blue clouds the masoned turrets, that both mak'st and break'st the stony girths of cities. Me, thy pupil, youngest follower of thy drum, instruct this day with military skill, that to thy laud I may advance my streamer, and by thee be styled the lord of the day. Give me, great Mars, some token of thy pleasure.
Here they fall on their faces as before, and there is heard clanging of armour with a short thunder, as the burst of a battle, whereupon they all rise, and bow to the altar.
O great corrector of enormous times, shaker of o'er-rank states, thou grand decider of dusty and old titles, that heal'st with blood the earth when it is sick, and curest the world of the pleurisy of people, I do take thy signs auspiciously, and in thy name to my design march boldly. Let us go.
Exeunt. Re-enter Palamon and his knights.
Our stars must glister with new fires, or be to-day extinct. Our argument is love, which if the goddess of it grant, she gives victory too. Then blend your spirits with mine, you, whose free nobleness do make my cause your personal hazard. To the goddess Venus commend we our proceeding, and implore her power unto our party.
Here they advance to the altar of Venus, and fall on their faces, then kneel.
Hail, sovereign queen of secrets, who has power to call the fiercest tyrant from his rage, and weep unto a girl, that has the might, even with an eye-glance, to choke Mars's drum, and turn the alarm to whispers, that canst make a cripple flourish with his crutch, and cure him before Apollo, that mayst force the king to be his subject's vassal, and induce stale gravity to dance. The polled bachelor, whose youth, like wanton boys through bonfires, have skipped thy flame, at 70 thou canst catch, and make him, to the scorn of his hoarse throat, abuse young lays of love. What godlike power hast thou not power upon? To Phoebus thou add'st flames hotter than his. The heavenly fires did scorch his mortal son, thine him. The huntress, all moist and cold, some say, began to throw her bow away and sigh. Take to thy grace me, thy vowed soldier, who do bear thy yoke as 'twere a wreath of roses, yet is heavier than lead itself, stings more than nettles. I have never been foul-mouthed against thy law, ne'er revealed secret, for I knew none, would not, had I kenned all that were. I never practised upon man's wife, nor would the libels read of liberal wits. I never at great feasts sought to betray a beauty, but have blushed at simpering sirs that did. I have been harsh to large confessors, and have hotly asked them if they had mothers. I had one, a woman, and women 'twere they wronged. I knew a man of 80 winters, this I told them, who a lass of 14 brided. 'Twas thy power to put life into dust. The aged cramp had screwed his square foot round, the gout had knit his fingers into knots, torturing convulsions from his globy eyes had almost drawn their spheres, that what was life in him seemed torture. This anatomy had by his young fair fear a boy, and I believed 'twas his, for she swore it was, and who would not believe her? Brief, I am to those that prate and have done no companion, to those that boast and have not, a defier, to those that would and cannot, a rejoicer. Yea, him I do not love that tells close offices the foulest way, nor names concealments in the boldest language. Such a one I am, and vow that lover never yet made sigh truer than I. O then, most soft sweet goddess, give me the victory of this question, which is true love's merit, and bless me with a sign of thy great pleasure.
Here music is heard, doves are seen to flutter. They fall again upon their faces, then on their knees.
O thou that from 11 to 90 reign'st in mortal bosoms, whose chase is this world, and we in herds thy game, I give thee thanks for this fair token, which, being laid unto mine innocent true heart, arms in assurance my body to this business. Let us rise and bow before the goddess. Time comes on.
They bow, then exeunt. Still music of records. Enter Emilia in white, her hair about her shoulders, and wearing a wheaten wreath, one in white holding up her train, her hair stuck with flowers, one before her carrying a silver hind, in which is conveyed incense and sweet odours, which being set upon the altar of Diana, her maid standing aloof, she sets fire to it. Then they curtsy and kneel.
O sacred, shadowy, cold and constant queen, abandoner of revels, mute, contemplative, sweet, solitary, white as chaste, and pure as wind-fanned snow, who to thy female knights allowest no more blood than will make a blush, which is their order's robe, I here, thy priest, am humbled for thine altar. O vouchsafe, with that thy rare green eye, which never yet beheld thing maculate, look on thy virgin. And sacred silver mistress, lend thine ear, which ne'er heard scroll term, into whose port ne'er entered wanton sound, to my petition, seasoned with holy fear. This is my last of vestal office. I'm bride-habited, but maiden-hearted. A husband I have pointed, but do not know him. Out of 2 I should choose one, and pray for his success. But I am guiltless of election. Of mine eyes, were I to lose one, they are equal precious. I could doom neither. That which perished should go to it unsentenced. Therefore, most modest queen, he of the 2 pretenders that best loves me and has the truest title in't, let him take off my wheaten garland, or else grant the file and quality I hold I may continue in thy band.
Here the hind vanishes under the altar, and in the place ascends a rose-tree, having 1 rose upon it.
See what our general of ebbs and flows out from the bowels of her holy altar, with sacred act advances, but 1 rose. If well inspired, this battle shall confound both these brave knights, and I, a virgin flower, must grow alone, unplucked.
Here is heard a sudden twang of instruments, and the rose falls from the tree, which vanishes under the altar.
The flower is fallen, the tree descends. O mistress, thou here dischargest me. I shall be gathered, I think so, but I know not thine own will. Unclasp thy mystery. I hope she's pleased. Her signs were gracious.
They curtsy and exeunt. Scene 2. A room in the prison. Enter doctor, gaoler, and wooer in the habit of Palamon.
Has this advice I told you done any good upon her?
Oh, very much. The maids that kept her company have half persuaded her that I am Palamon. Within this half hour she came smiling to me, and asked me what I'd eat, and when I'd kiss her. I told her presently, and kissed her twice.
'Twas well done. 20 times had been far better, for there the cure lies mainly.
Then she told me she would watch with me tonight, for well she knew what hour my fit would take me.
Let her do so.
She would have me sing.
You did so?
No.
'Twas very ill done then. You should observe her every way.
Alas, I have no voice, sir, to confirm her in that way.
That's all one. If ye make a noise, if she entreat again, do anything. Lie with her if she ask you.
Ah, there, doctor.
Yes, in the way of cure.
But first, by your leave, in the way of honesty.
That's but a niceness. Never cast your child away for honesty. Cure her first this way. Then, if she'll be honest, she has a path before her.
Thank ye, doctor.
Pray, bring her in, and let's see how she is.
I will, and tell her Palamon stays for her. But, doctor, methinks you're in the wrong still.
Exit.
Go, go. Your fathers are fine fools, her honesty, and we should give her psychic till we find that.
Why, do you think she is not honest, sir?
How old is she?
She's 18.
She may be. But that's all one. 'Tis nothing to her purpose. Whatever her father says, if you perceive her mood inclining that way I spoke of, we'll set the way of flesh. You have me?
Yes, very well, sir.
Enter Gaoler, daughter, and maid.
Come, your love Palamon stays for you, child, and has done this long hour to visit you.
I thank him for his gentle patience. He's a kind gentleman, and I am much bound to him. Did you ne'er see the horse he gave me?
Yes.
How do you like him?
He's a very fair one.
You never saw him dance?
No.
I have often. He dances very finely, very comely. And for a jig, come cut and long tail to him. He turns you like a top.
That's fine indeed.
He'll dance the Morris 20 mile an hour, and that will founder the best hobby horse. If I have any skill in all the parish, and gallops to the tune of Lighter Love, what think you of this horse?
Having these virtues, I think he might be brought to play at tennis.
Alas, that's nothing.
Can he write and read too?
A very fair hand, and casts himself the accounts of all his hay and provender. That hostler must rise betime that cozens him. You know the chestnut mare the Duke has?
Very well.
She is horribly in love with him, poor beast. But he is like his master, coy and scornful.
What dowry has she?
Some 200 bottles, and 20 strike of oats. But he'll ne'er have her. He lisps in's neighing, able to entice a miller's mare. He'll be the death of her.
What stuff she utters!
Make curtsy, here your love comes.
Pretty soul, how do ye? That's a fine maid. There's a curtsy.
Yours to command in the way of honesty. How far is't now to the end of the world, my masters?
Why, a day's journey, wench.
Will you go with me?
What shall we do there, wench?
Why, play at stool ball. What is there else to do?
I am content if we shall keep our wedding there.
'Tis true. For there, I will assure you, we shall find some blind priest for the purpose, that will venture to marry us, for here they are nice and foolish. Besides, my father must be hanged to-morrow, and that would be a blot to the business. Are not you Palamon?
Do you not know me?
Yes. But you care not for me. I have nothing but this poor petticoat and 2 coarse smocks.
That's all one. I will have you.
Will you? Surely?
Yes, by this fair hand will I.
Will to bed, then?
Even when you will.
Kisses her. Oh, sir, you'd fain be nibbling.
Why do you rub my kiss off?
'Tis a sweet one, and will perfume me finely against the wedding. Is not this your cousin, Arcite?
Yes, sweetheart, and I'm glad my cousin Palamon has made so fair a choice.
Do you think he'll have me?
Yes, without doubt.
Do you think so too?
Yes.
We shall have many children. Lord, how you're grown! My Palamon, I hope, will grow too finely now he's at liberty. Alas, poor chicken! He was kept down with hard meat and ill lodging. But I will kiss him up again. Enter a messenger.
What do you here? You'll lose the noblest sight that e'er was seen.
Are they in the field?
They are. You bear a charge there, too.
I'll away straight. I must even leave you here.
Nay, we'll go with you. I will not lose the sight.
How do you like her?
I'll warrant you, within these 3 or 4 days, I'll make her right again. You must not from her, but still preserve her in this way.
I will.
Let's get her in.
Come, sweet, we'll go to dinner, and then we'll play at cards.
Exeunt. Scene 3. A part of the forest near the place of combat. Enter Theseus, Hippolyta, Emilia, Pirithous, and attendants.
I'll step no further.
Will you lose this sight?
I had rather see a wren hawk get a fly than this decision. Every blow that falls threats a brave life. Each stroke laments the place whereon it falls, and sounds more like a bell than blade. I will stay here. It is enough my hearing shall be punished with what shall happen, gainst the which there is no deafing but to hear. Not taint mine eye with dread sights it may shun.
Sir, my good lord, your sister will no further.
Oh, she must. She shall see deeds of honour in their kind, which sometimes show well pencilled. Nature now shall make and act the story, the belief both sealed with eye and ear. You must be present. You are the victor's meed, the price and garland to crown the question's title.
Pardon me. If I were there, I'd wink.
You must be there. This trial is as it were in the night, and you the only star to shine.
I am extinct. There is but envy in that light which shews the one the other. Darkness, whichever was the dam of horror, who does stand accursed of many mortal millions, may even now, by casting her black mantle over both, that neither could find other, get herself some part of a good name, and many a mirther set off whereto she's guilty.
You must go.
In faith I will not. Sir, pardon me. The title of a kingdom may be tried out of itself.
Well, well, then, at your pleasure. Those that remain with you could wish their office to any of their enemies.
Farewell, sister. I am like to know your husband for yourself by some small smart of time. He whom the gods do of the two know best, I pray them he be made your lot.
Exeunt all except Emilia and some of the attendants.
Arcite is gently visaged, yet his eye is like an engine bent, or a sharp weapon in a soft sheath. Mercy and manly courage are bedfellows in his visage. Palamon has a most menacing aspect. His brow is graved, and seems to bury what it frowns on. Yet sometimes 'tis not so, but alters to the quality of his thoughts. Long time his eye will dwell upon his object. Melancholy becomes him nobly. So does Arcite's mirth. But Palamon's sadness is a kind of mirth, so mingled as if mirth did make him sad, and sadness merry. Those darker humours that stick misbecomingly on others, on him live in fair dwelling.
Cornets. Trumpets sound as to a charge.
Hark! How yon spurs to spirit do incite the princes to their proof. Arcite may win me, and yet Palamon wound Arcite to the spoiling of his figure. Oh, what pity enough for such a chance! If I were by, I might do hurt, for they would glance their eyes toward my seat, and in that motion might omit a ward, or forfeit an offence, which craved that very time. It is much better. I am not there.
Cornets. Cry within. A Palamon.
Oh, better never born than minister to such harm. What is the chance?
The cry's a Palamon.
Then he has won. 'Twas ever likely. He looked all grace and success, and he is doubtless the primmest of men. I prithee run, and tell me how it goes.
Still, Palamon.
Run and inquire.
Exit servant.
Poor servant, thou hast lost. Upon my right side still I wore thy picture. Palamon's on the left. Why so I know not. I had no end in't else. Chance would have it so.
Another cry and shout within, and cornets.
On the sinister side the heart lies. Palamon had the best boding chance. This burst of clamour is sure the end of the combat.
Re-enter servant.
They said that Palamon had Arcite's body within an inch of the pyramid, that the cry was general, a Palamon. But anon the assistants made a brave redemption, and the two bold tilters at this instant are hand to hand at it.
Were they metamorphosed both into one? Oh, why, there were no woman worth so composed a man. Their single share, their nobleness peculiar to them, gives the prejudice of disparity, value shortness, to any lady breathing.
Cornets. Cry within. Arcite, Arcite.
More exulting. Palamon still.
Nay, now the sound is Arcite.
I prithee lay attention to the cry.
Cornets. A great shout and cry, Arcite, victory.
Set both thine ears to the business.
The cry is Arcite and victory. Hark! Arcite, victory! The combat's consummation is proclaimed by the wind instruments.
Half-sight saw that Arcite was no babe. God's lid, his richness and costliness of spirit looked through him. It could no more be hid in him than fire and flax, than humble banks can go to law with waters that drift winds forced raging. I did think good Palamon would miscarry, yet I knew not why I did think so. Our reasons are not prophets, when oft our fancies are. They're coming off. Alas, poor Palamon.
Cornets. Enter Theseus, Hippolyta, Pirithous, Arcite as victor, attendants, etc.
Lo, where our sister is in expectation, yet quaking and unsettled. Fairest Emily, the gods by their divine arbitrament have given you this knight. He is a good one as ever struck at head. Give me your hands. Receive you her, you him. Be plighted with a love that grows as you decay.
Emily, to buy you I have lost what's dearest to me, save what is bought, and yet I purchase cheaply, as I do rate your value.
O loved sister, he speaks now of as brave a knight as e'er did spur a noble steed. Surely the gods would have him die a bachelor, lest his race should show the world too godlike. His behaviour so charmed me that methought Alcides was to him a sow of lead. If I could praise each part of him to the all I've spoke, your Arcite did not lose by it, for he that was thus good encountered yet his better. I have heard two emulous Philomels beat the ear of the night with their contentious throats, now one the higher, anon the other, then again the first, and by outbreasted that the sense could not be judge between 'em. So it fared good space between these kinsmen, till heavens did make hardly one the winner. Wear the garland with joy that you have won. For the subdued, give them our present justice, since I know their lives but pinch 'em. Let it here be done. The scene's not for our seeing. Go we hence right joyful with some sorrow. Arm your prize. I know you will not lose her. Hippolyta, I see one eye of yours conceives a tear, the which it will deliver.
Flourish.
Is this winning? O all you heavenly powers, where is your mercy? For that your wills have said it must be so, and charge me live to comfort this unfriended, this miserable prince, that cuts away a life more worthy from him than all women. I should and would die too.
Infinite pity, that four such eyes should be so fixed on one, that two must needs be blind for it.
So it is.
Exeunt. Scene 4. The same part of the forest as in Act 3, Scene 6. Enter Palamon and his knights pinioned, Gaoler, executioner, and guard.
There's many a man alive that hath outlived the love of the people. Yea, the self-same state stands many a father with his child. Some comfort we have by so considering. We expire, and not without men's pity, to live still have their good wishes. We prevent the loathsome misery of age, beguile the gout and rheum that in lag hours attend for grey approaches. We come towards the gods young and unwappered, not halting under crimes young and stale, that, sure, shall please the gods sooner than such, to give us next with them, for we are more clear spirits. My dear kinsman, whose lives for this poor comfort are laid down, you've sold 'em too cheap.
What ending could be of more content? Or us the victors have fortune, whose title is as momentary as to us death is certain. A grain of honour they not o'erweigh us.
Let us bid farewell, and with our patience anger tottering fortune, who, at her certainest, reels.
Come, who begins?
Even he that led you to this banquet shall taste to you all. Aha, my friend, my friend! Your gentle daughter gave me freedom once. You'll see it done now forever. Pray, how does she? I heard she was not well. Her kind of ill gave me some sorrow.
Sir, she's well restored, and to be married shortly.
By my short life, I am most glad on't. 'Tis the latest thing I shall be glad of. Prithee tell her so, commend me to her, and, to piece her portion, tender her this.
Gives a purse.
Nay, let's be offerers all.
Is it a maid?
Verily I think so. A right good creature, more to me deserving than I can quit or speak of.
Commend us to her.
Give their purses.
The gods requite you all, and make her thankful.
Adieu, and let my life be now as short as my leave-taking.
Lays his head on the block.
Lead, courageous cousin.
We'll follow cheerfully.
A great noise within, crying, Run, save, hold. Enter in haste a messenger.
Hold, oh, hold.
Enter Pirithous in haste.
Hold, ho! It is accursed haste you made, if you have done so quickly. Noble Palamon, the gods will show their glory in a life that thou art yet to lead.
Can that be, when Venus I've said is false? How do things fare?
Arise, great sir, and give the tidings ear that are most dearly sweet and bitter.
What hath waked us from our dream?
Palamon rises.
List then, your cousin, mounted upon a steed that Emily did first bestow on him. A black one, owing not a hairworth of white, which some will say weakens his price, and many will not buy his goodness with this note, which superstition here finds allowance. On this horse is Arcite, trotting the stones of Athens, which the Colchins did rather tell than trample, for the horse would make his length a mile if it pleased his rider to put pride in him. As he thus went counting the flinty pavement, dancing as 'twere to the music his own hoofs made, for, as they say, from iron came music's origin, what envious flint, cold as old Saturn, and like him possessed with fire malevolent, darted a spark? Or what fierce silver else to this end made, I comment not. The hot horse, hot as fire, took toy at this, and fell to what disorder his power could give his will, bounds, comes on end, forgets school doing, being therein trained, and of a kind manage. Pig-like he whines at the sharp roll, which he frets at rather than any jot obeys, seeks all foul means of boisterous and rough jittery to deceit his lord, who kept it bravely. When not served, when neither curb would crack, girth break, nor differing plunges disroot his rider whence he grew, but that he kept him between his legs, on his hind hoofs on end he stands, that Arcite's legs, being higher than his head, seemed with strange art to hang. His victor's wreath even then fell off his head, and presently backward the jade comes o'er, and his full poise becomes the rider's load. Yet is he living. But such a vessel is that floats but for the surge that next approaches. He much desires to have some speech with you. Lo, he appears.
Enter Theseus, Hippolyta, Emilia, and Arcite, borne in a chair.
O miserable end of our alliance! The gods are mighty. Arcite, if thy heart, thy worthy manly heart, be yet unbroken, give me thy last words. I am Palamon, one that yet loves thee dying.
Take Emilia, and with her all the world's joy. Reach thy hand. Farewell, I've told my last hour. I was false, yet never treacherous. Forgive me, cousin. One kiss from fair Emilia. 'Tis done. Take her. I die.
Thy brave soul seek Elysium.
I'll close thine eyes, Prince, Blessed souls be with thee! Thou art a right good man, and while I live, this day I give to tears.
And I to honour.
In this place first you fought, even very here I sundered you. Acknowledge to the gods your thanks that you are living. His part is played, and though it were too short, he did it well. Your day is lengthened, and the blissful dew of heaven does arose you. The powerful Venus well hath graced her altar, and given you your love. Our master Mars has vouched his oracle, and to Arcite gave the grace of the contention. So the deities have showed due justice. Bear this hence.
O cousin, that we should things desire which do cost us the loss of our desire, that naught could buy dear love but loss of dear love.
Never fortune did play a subtler game. The conquered triumphs, the victor has the loss. Yet in the passage the gods have been most equal. Palamon, your kinsman, hath confessed the right of the lady did lie in you, for you first saw her, and even then proclaimed your fancy. He restored her as your stolen jewel, and desired your spirit to send him hence forgiven. The gods my justice take from my hand, and they themselves become the executioners. Lead your lady off, and call your lovers from the stage of death, whom I adopt my friends. A day or two let us look sadly, and give grace unto the funeral of Arcite, in whose end the visages of bridegrooms will put on, and smile with Palamon, for whom an hour, but 1 hour since, I was as dearly sorry as glad of Arcite, and am now as glad as for him sorry. O you heavenly charmers, what things you make of us! For what we lack, we laugh, for what we have, are sorry, still are children in some kind. Let us be thankful for that which is, and with you leave dispute that are above our question. Let's go off and bear us like the time.
Flourish. Exeunt. Epilogue. I would now ask ye how ye like the play, but, as it is with schoolboys, cannot say, I am cruel fearful. Pray, yet stay a while, and let me look upon ye. No man smile? Then it goes hard, I see. He that has loved a young handsome wench then show his face. 'Tis strange if none be here. And, if he will against his conscience, let him hiss and kill our market. 'Tis in vain, I see, to stay ye. Have at the worst can come then. Now, what say ye? And yet mistake me not, I am not bold. We've no such cause, if the tale we have told. For 'tis no other. Any way content ye, for to that honest purpose it was meant ye. We have our end, and ye shall have ere long, I dare say, many a better, to prolong your old loves to us. We and all our might rest at your service. Gentlemen, good night. End of The Two Noble Kinsmen by William Shakespeare and John Fletcher. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org.